Hello. Hello, hello. Hey, life with Natu. Natu. I can see you somersaulting. Welcome. You're my first guest. Hey, all the flowers now you get them today, oh, Natu. We can share flowers with you. You came early. Hey, now wow. Eh? Thank you for showing up. Can you imagine? Eh? Welcome. I appreciate you. You try. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi, literature lover. You have your popcorn ready. You guys are cracking me up. Marriott, yay! Marriott made it. Oh, hey, Marriott, you don't step am up. Oh. Ah, ah. I appreciate it. Giddy gone, you. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Good to see everyone. Hey, highly favored. Greetings. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me once again. Una know my name now. Omoyeskona. The one, the only. Oh, Jemwa, welcome. Good to see everyone. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. How na day now? How's your week so far? I hope it's starting strong. Eh? You were about to start trouble. I've praised you now. Marriott, as I have praised you, you chilled. Okay, now I know your mumu button now, Marriott. Now I know. One bag of popcorn per hour, Billy. Literature lover, welcome. Good to see you guys. How's everyone doing today? I hope we are all doing well. Oh. I hope the cold is not getting to you. Don't let the cold get to you. Let the cold be running from you if it's possible. How can nature run from you? That's good. Thank you. I'm doing good, OJ. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, awesome. So your week started strong, Marriott. Great week, huh? Not much work to do. Just that's good. That's very good. That's the life, oh. I'm telling you, that's the life. I'm fine. I am very yesterday, let me tell you what happened. Yesterday, so I start this routine of not eating after 6 p.m., right? So I ate early at 2 p.m. I ate at 2 p.m. and then I wasn't hungry, of course. And then guess what? Oh, at midnight, now so my belly start to dey hey. I see wetin be this. I was hungry. The kind hunger, I be like person wey never eat for months. It was crazy. I had to wake up and what's it called? Eat some almonds and some pumpkin seeds. My goodness, just to calm the body down. But I forgot I had Gary. I would have drank Gary, but I didn't even remember. But anyway, that's small story of what happened yesterday. But otherwise, I'm good. I am very well. So, my people. So today I want to talk about this story, this subject matter of how culture, whether culture can even go back. Me when put a topic, the topic no come comot. Does culture hinder or promote healthy relationships? I wan make we talk about am because sometimes I dey lis ten to some things, right? Marriott, yeah, I am. I'm targeting a certain weight. I can't fit into some of my very nice jeans that I have, so it annoyed me because I can't be buying clothes up and down the place now. Waiting. So I was very angry. I was trying to fit in my jeans this weekend because I was taking my mom somewhere. I couldn't get in I couldn't get into it. Man, I was like, okay, I have to do something. Yeah. So I'm trying. I'm trying. Wish me luck. But anyway, so my people, they listen to some people. I don't see some videos. Some people have different opinions of the subject of relationship and culture. Some people believe that some African, I don't want to say all African culture because when we talk about African culture, it big and it wide. No, Africa na the now the continent, right? So we have a lot of different ways of doing things. So some cultures they believe say that they suppress because of the way they say they suppress women, so they don't think that it promotes healthy relationships. And based on the recent things, recent stories we've been reading about, you know, on this different celebrities and different things happening in their lives, even ordinary people, right, that are not on social media. It happens to everyone. Nobody perfect, right? So they say it looks like some African cultures tends to suppress women. They allow them, express themselves freely, while some people of the opinion that, the African culture give women too much power, which I thought was really weird because I don't know which African culture they give women power. If you're talking about African culture, maybe I don't know, not be all I know. So I can't claim to know all the cultures in Africa because say we have different tribes in Africa and they're huge. They were kingdoms on their own. So everybody get as I say they do their own. If maybe prior pre-colonialism, perhaps women, of course, had a lot of power because they were the women in charge of the compound, right? They were the ones literally running the homes. Okay. So everybody had their own different take on the matter. Like, they feel like, especially now, the African culture, they suppress women well. So there has to be, and then some elders were like, okay, if you say it is suppressing, what are you doing to fix those aspects of it that you think tend to suppress, women? Why don't you do something about it? Instead of doing away with the culture completely, why don't you work around it to make room, to adjust it so it gives room for women to have the voices that they need? I thought it was interesting, different people had different takes on it, and I said, you know what, let me bring it to my family here. Let's talk about it. So, waiting on that think. I have shared my comment section, my link. So, if anyone wants to join in the conversation, please feel free to use that link and let's talk about it. Yeah, I can speak from the fact that, for instance, in my culture, uh, yes, the culture has a lot of power over women where I come from, right? And there are different rights that women go through that the men do not go through. And when certain things happen, it is the women it affects first and not the men. I have a problem with that. Okay. So I know there are also some cultures where they give out they go marry, but when they get visitors, if they marry multiple women, they feel give their one of their wives to the guest for his pleasure. There are cultures like that in Nigeria. I remember reading about it, some of it in history. I remember, so different cultures, but some cultures tend to suppress the voice of the women more than others. So wetin we go do about am? Wetin una think? I dey wait, no be only me go co-host this evening o. If una wan make dis gist make we get something out of am, somebody needs to come volunteer and co-host. Hmm? I say dis topic if we don't talk about it I may forget. That's why I brought it today. Let's gather, people should gather your joko, your bench, with bring your kola nuts. Let's address this. you know let's address in light of all the marriage breakup up and down. And then, oh, again, recently I saw that the your guy posted again that he's a proud polygamist. Does that guy even know what he's doing? Are you guys sure that guy is all right? I don't think he's all right too. I really don't think he's all right, to be honest. If you ask me, in my own opinion, I don't think that guy is all right. There's something behind all of this. There's a lot of guilty conscience going on, and he's trying to appear as tough. The guy is not as tough as he's making it out to be. Mm. That's my own opinion, no. But what do I know? Wetin I know, wetin I sabi. So I don't know. I just feel say for Nigeria, they say they treat the way the culture they treat women, some cultures again, not all, it's very unfair. Now, because now the women now they bear the brunt of all the difficult things when they happen for the society. If the man waka go outside, go carry, give another woman belle, bring her enter inside. Now the woman they'll come beg her. They go gather all the adults, all the old people, all the what's it called, senior people in the community come and beg the woman, and the woman go accept. Una know the woman go accept. Na that same woman na im dey suffer pass, na im dey suffer pass. So my question is, if the man fit do that kind thing, if the woman do the same thing, we know as dem go take react, no be the same response dem go get, na different response altogether, you know. um hey Mariam, well done oo, good to hear you and see you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear
What's
me?
up, girl? I can hear you clearly, and
Okay.
your audio is very correct too. Hey,
Wow, this is shocking.
ah, I'm
Hello?
I am impressed. So how now? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yes. So what do you have to say about this? Hey, Celine, welcome.
Hi, Celine. Okay. So I think for me it does help and it does hinder. Like you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater and say everything is terrible.
Right,
And all the different ethnic groups in Nigeria, they all oppress women, but they all oppress women in different ways.
right,
So for me, I don't see any like I don't want to say none of them are better than the others, but they all find a way to oppress you one way or the other. And
right.
don't you find it interesting that it is the women, the
That
handmaiden
are the
women,
gatekeepers.
they are the ones. Oh, this is
Mm,
what it's supposed to be. You are supposed to
yes,
do this as the
yes,
wife. Yes.
yes.
Meanwhile, obviously the men feel like you should do that, but they're not the ones talking. No, it
Mm-mm.
is the women that carry their dirty capes and be telling you this is what you're supposed to do. I find it
Yes.
strange, and the irony is that those women also have, strangely enough, they also have powers in their families. Like they're not like
Mhm.
voiceless people. So why
Right.
they don't use their voice to protect other women is what I don't understand.
Mm. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think it wholly hinders or wholly helps. Um, I think that there are aspects of it that does help to promote a better relationship. It's just the fact that culturally everybody wants families to stay intact.
Right.
They preach, forgiveness. They preach
Right.
sometimes only one sided, but still they preach forgiveness. They
Yeah.
preach, being open to dialogue. There's upsides of, when you have issues, you call family members to help you resolve it. Obviously there's downsides to that as well, because they're now in your business and you can never leave your business ever again once you invite them.
Yeah.
But there's an upside because they are more knowledgeable, they're older, they're wiser, they've been there. Your problem is not unique to you. Obviously there
Right.
are also downsides. So I as usual, I think usually when I call you, I'm never on one side. I feel like there are upsides to it and there are downsides to it. And any couple or any relationship that wants to move forward, they have to understand how they want to navigate the dynamics, I think.
Right. Right. You're right in the sense that it is women usually that are the gatekeepers of this culture. And you made
Mm.
a very important point, Marriott. I didn't even think about that. The women that are the gatekeepers, they have a voice somewhat in their own homes, in their own lives, but they don't use that voice for the women. in a lot of instances. In the most important instances, they don't.
Yeah.
Instead, they would use that same voice to suppress the woman and tell her, apologize now, don't do this, you are not supposed to do this, you're not. It is very true. And is that fair though? Is
Of
that
course,
fair?
it's not fair, but I that's the thing. Isn't that what they say? The internalized misogyny is so strong that you think that somehow these men deserve everything. And even though you're a woman yourself, you don't think that other women deserve good things. It's women that mock okay, not just women, men also do that too, where they find a guy who's absolutely in love with his wife and who wants to do things for his wife. The first thing the women say is that, oh well, Otisi Sefafun, like, she has given
Yeah,
him something, and then
to
the men will
eat.
say he's mumu. Meanwhile, this
Uh-huh.
person just loves their partner. That's how they're supposed to treat their partner. So I I think it's partly misogyny, partly envy as well, because maybe for some, because if you're think about it, if you're living well, if you have a nice partner, you both love each other, would you want somebody, like, if you see somebody treating another person well, would you say no, absolutely not, that is jazz? If you were being
Yeah.
treated well at home, you wouldn't do that.
No.
Yeah, so they're miserable. So that's why I put it down, like, okay, the reason you're doing this is, one, you haven't grown out of the misogyny, and second, you are just unhappy. So no, I think our culture isn't really all bad. And I know, because when we talk about some of these things, we highlight how they hold us back, how they hold women
Mm,
back. um but it's not all bad, because there are some things that are there that are supposed to protect you,
right.
even in all these cultures that are so anti-women in a way. They're still supposed
Right.
to ensure that, okay, this man provides, like, now, like the pressure they put on men to be sole providers in Nigeria, it
This
is
is
there to
true.
protect women and their
That
children.
is true.
Like, on unreasonable pressure that these men
Hmm.
feel. So it's not all bad sometimes, but as human beings, shall we like to misuse, or I was watching something on YouTube where somebody said, oh, all this borrowed culture, all this marrying one woman is borrowed culture. In our culture, we marry multiple. They behave as though every single man back in the day was marrying multiple wives, as though,
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because when I hear people say it, I actually wonder, there were people even in that time where they were marrying multiple women that didn't marry multiple women, they married one woman. And
yeah,
it had nothing to do with them being less of a man or more. Of course, in some instances, the man who was wealthy, as a matter of fact, some men that were very extremely wealthy back in the day, it was the families that put pressure on them to marry multiple women. It wasn't even them. In some instances, it wasn't the men. And sometimes in those same instances, it was the wife. Maybe the wife will feel like the work is too much for her. Maybe she has
yeah,
like 12 children, so they
yeah.
don't get contraceptive that
No
time. So
family
the woman,
planning.
exactly, born like 14 children down. Only you go wake up in the morning, wash clothes, cook, do it's tiring. And maybe you have small, small, small children, they never grow rich, right? So
Mm.
you will now say, okay, oh, and then maybe at nighttime, the man is looking for something in the night to hold body. You can only do so much. So the woman, instead make she go buy on top of I'm married. Say, okay, let me help you look for one small wife that will be taking care of your needs while I'm busy with other things, or that can assist me in certain areas. In those days, it was very acceptable. It was normal to some people, not all, because
Yeah.
there were families who did not marry multiple women. There were people who insisted on having just that their one wife, and nothing happened to them. So yeah, you're right. I dey wonder they talk am like say na so multiple women they just dey marry. No.
And what's the excuse? We're in 2020, what, two? We're in 2022. So what's the excuse now? You don't have a farm anymore. You don't have 25 children. Why do you need multiple people to be happy in your life?
Thank you.
Because you don't have self-discipline now, we should just bend the rules for you.
Thank you. That's exactly what it's sounding like. Because most of the time, most of the people that are coming out and are preaching this multiple wives and all of that, when you look at it, they don't have the money to take care of multiple women.
I
I
never
can tell you
thought.
for free, some men who are extremely wealthy, having multiple wives is the last thing on their mind. Is the last thing on their mind. They might have like chicks so on the side,
Mm.
whatever. But to marry, join is that because they want to maintain their lifestyle selfishly. So there was a time I was on one of my friends show on Instagram, right? She's African American, and she had this show where she was talking about most of the guys that were calling in were saying, oh, I just want to go back to Africa and marry. They were
Mm.
talking, and I was listening to them. I'm like, these people don't understand. There were rules, there are things that you need to put in place to do this. Listening to them, it was more like they were just wanting multiple wives. So it really, what they were preaching or what they were asking for was the open marriage thing. What do
Oh
they
my
call it
god.
again? They have name for all of them now.
Polyamory, or is it polygyny?
Eh, that's what they were really talking about. So I called in and I said, I don't. So they're like, oh, you're African, so you're gonna. I said, listen,
Mhm.
dude, Mona, chill. Not be like that. Do you have money to take care of your wife? Can you build her a house on her own? As in, she doesn't need to live in you. Even if she needs to live in your compound, she'll have her own house, well furnished. You will buy her car. You will take care of her needs. You will also take care of her children's needs and her family's needs. Can you afford to do that?
These
These
ones
things
don't have
come
money
with
for that
rules.
one. They don't have money for
Eh,
that. We will never think.
so thank you. I said, so you guys have to understand, back in the day when people used to do, even those who do it now, the Africans who do it now, who genuinely do it, they do exactly what the rules are. They
Yeah.
take care of the women, meaning
Yeah.
some they build house for their wives. They go build house, furnish them, do everything, take care of all their needs. What did they call Okoya Thompson? How many wives that man get? See the castle when the man they live. The women don't have anything to complain about. So sometimes when people they talk about these things, they're really talking about something else, polyamory or
That,
whatever
yeah.
it is now that you're is not the ideal polygamy that some of our parents grew up in. It's not.
It's just, I'm sorry. I know. Wait. Should I wait for OJ to come in?
No, you can mention and then
I was
I'll
gonna
come to
say
her.
that these, for those people that you've just described, it's intellectual dishonesty. What they want is access to different women, so they, to make themselves seem more altruistic, or that their decision is based in some intellectual reasoning. They said, okay, let's go back to
Exactly.
what we know. But like, they don't even understand, like you said, they don't understand the rules of engagement for that. Even a poor
Mm-mm.
man that has two wives will still have two separate rooms for the wives, will still give food. Essentially, he's
Exactly.
funding two families. This is not the one where the woman will be, spending her money to be raising. No, 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 you are going to be, essentially, you are the head of two households. So those ones,
Exactly.
they're just jokers. I basically don't understand what going on.
They don't. Oh, Jamoa, welcome. Sis, you never sleep, huh?
I'm studying. Oh, hello everyone.
Hello, good to have
Hello.
you.
Hi, sorry, my voice sounds husky today. I have a cold. I told you my boiler
Oh,
was down some days
sorry.
back.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the boiler is up
Mm,
now, right?
yes, it is. But I spent
Ah,
2 nights sleeping in the cold.
Oh
oh
no.
my God.
It's
Why?
terrible. Very, very terrible.
I am so sorry. Kai. Now
It's all
wow.
right. But the temperature has come up now. It's about 10 degrees. It was 10 degrees today. And it was -8 2 days ago. So can you imagine?
Oh wow. Hey! Now wow.
That is
Sorry.
Obodo Yibo for us.
Abby.
Yeah. This topic, I was trying to understand it. It's as if it's a little bit not too clear. I was trying to understand it. So I just tried looking for the definition of culture to start with.
Okay.
And to me, culture is a set of patterns
Mm-hmm.
of human activity within a community or social group.
Mm-hmm.
It could be customs, laws, your dress, architectural style, social standards, and traditions. Am I
Okay.
communicating?
You
Yes,
are.
class
We
is
dey
in
here. We dey hear
session. We're
you. We are
listening.
looking. We are waiting for your brilliant summation.
Ah. So we have to break it down now so we can understand.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm
Then
glad that you're
why
breaking it down. I
why
appreciate it.
why culture is important? Culture, in addition, culture provides important social and economic benefits, right? And there we can place it. Culture can be shared characteristics of a group of people, and it could be place of birth, religion, language, the kind of food, social behavior, art, literature, music. Then, when we now have to relate that to a healthy relationship, we then have to find out what is a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship involves honesty, trust,
Mhm.
respect, and open communication between partners, and they take effort and compromise from both people.
Okay.
There is no imbalance of power. Partners
Mm.
respect each other's independence, can make their own decisions without fear or retribution or retaliation, and they share decisions.
Okay.
That is what definition is. But
Okay.
if you're not bringing it to a particular kind of area of culture now, are we talking about marriage? Are we talking
Yeah,
about,
that's what the topic says. Relationships, marriage,
yeah?
not culture relations to in relation to friendship. I'm talking about marriage,
So
relationship.
culture in this to me, when you say culture, now well, it could mean your religion, your background, what do you believe in, and this you take what you're born with, where you were born. Those are the things you carry into your relationship, your
No, you know,
exposure, your
here, let me
education.
just make it simple.
Uh-huh.
OJ, let me make it simple for you.
Thank
So
you.
my question is this, or the topic what we were talking about is, does culture hinder or promote healthy relationships? Right? In the African setting, we've talked about it a little bit. Marriott has
Yes.
mentioned some
Mm-hmm.
points. In terms of relationship, how does culture hinder or promote healthy relationship? For some, culture is very, like Marriott was saying, we don't have to throw everything about culture away that pertains to relationship, because there are some rules that are actually there to protect the women. For instance, like Celine just mentioned, the fact that our culture grooms men to be providers at the back of an African man, at the back of his head, he knows that, man, I have to work hard so I can provide for my family. I've met African men like, no, I'm not here. I'm not ready to get married right now because I'm trying to get my bag. I'm trying to make sure I have everything in place before I get married, right? You don't get that everywhere. Now, in terms of how it hinders, in the way in its relationship to the women in that same culture. You have some cultures, and I mentioned in the beginning, not all our African culture is huge, is massive. It differs from community to community, from tribe to tribe, depending on where
Exactly.
you come from, right? And depending on the way you people do things. There's some similarities of culture, but there's some differences as well. In some cultures, the women, there's certain rules that suppress the women. In some cultures, those same rules that suppress the women is what elevates them in another culture. So I am now bringing it home. Like, how, in what way do you think that culture, based on where you're coming from now, for instance, in what way does it hinder or promote healthy relationships? So we also talked about polygamy, where some people want to, like right now, nowadays, some men will say, "Oh, I want to marry multiple women. I want to have them. I beg, we're Africans," right? They throw it out there, but they don't know their rules of engagement. Culturally, if you're going to marry multiple women, you should be able to provide for them. Marriott mentioned, even if you are not too wealthy, you see a man that doesn't have much money, he has two rooms for his wife, his two wives. One room here for one wife, another room for another wife. The man that is wealthy, that is married to multiple women, he go build house for them. Some go make sure say everything they need is catered, they're catered for in every way. So in 2022, you're having some men talk about, wanting to be polygamist or being proud polygamist and all of that. But they're not approaching it from the cultural, they're not approaching it the way it ought to be approached. Some of them, their girlfriends, they now become wives. They'll come say they'll be polygamists. Do you
I
understand
think,
that?
yeah, yeah. But I think if you're going to put it that way, I would want to look at it as, I mean, based on the individuals. For example, someone who was born and has lived all their life in a village or in a rural area can would find it more difficult changing the culture. They would just have to go with what they were born into. They have no idea of what's going on outside their their immediate environment, or probably what they hear from people around them. They want to copy. There's this issue of copycat. So this my neighbor married two wives, and I want to marry two wives too, like a competition. So it's the level of awareness and exposure and education, and their personality also matters. Like you can find out that some people who grew up, who were born in rural areas or less deprived areas, they have opportunity to travel to, let's say, Lagos or a bigger city, and they come back home. They are usually different from people who've never left the rural area, if you get what I'm saying.
That's true.
So you find out that the culture that they find in the city is supposed to either make them better, give them a better understanding about life. Yes, you accept, yes, this is my culture, but how does it affect me as a person? Would I want to treat my wife the way my culture says I should? Do you understand? So it
Mm.
depends,
Yeah.
as I say, it depends on the individual and what they really want for themselves. Are they willing to change and do better? Do they think their culture is the best for them? There are so many men back in the days that never married more than one wife. They only had one wife, and they'll probably sleep here and there, have maybe a girlfriend or a concubine somewhere, but they never married them because they told themselves that I'm not going to follow the culture of my forefathers. And you find out that some of these men who actually marry more than one wife, exactly, they now you now find out that it's either greed, they were greedy, or they got caught, they followed the wrong kind of woman who trapped
Mm-hmm.
them and decided to have a child.
Mm.
Somebody mentioned earlier about the use of condoms or
Yeah.
having unwanted pregnancies. Then
Mm-hmm.
fine, there were other ways using our culture that women back in the days used to prevent multiple children. If there was awareness, they could have used herbs to prevent these things.
Ojima, sorry, who trapped them?
Ah,
Who
who
trapped
trapped the
them?
men in the rural areas? Poverty.
The way you said that they were trapped
It
by who?
it takes two now. Not be the man and woman do
No,
am.
wait, see, it's a way match now. I call it a way match.
Away
The man
match.
was trying to,
Okay.
the man is trying to do a fast one. Okay, let me do what my friends have been
Exactly.
doing. And then the
Mm-hmm.
woman is smarter. She knows what she wants. And she doesn't want to be gullible like other women. They say, okay, this one, you think you can escape? And then you
Yeah, but
find out
that's
that,
not that doesn't mean that the man is going to marry them. The man may even deny the child. The fact say the
well,
man, yeah, the man back in the day was different. Okay. So back in the day, if you do a way match, the person will come find you. In some families, they go insist say you marry the woman because guess what? You don't spoil market for the family. You don't spoil the family name. So you must pay money on top of her head
Yeah, the
because you
culture.
put her in the
They'll say the
family
culture
room.
doesn't permit our children to be born outside. You know that's also
Exactly.
part of culture. They'll say, no, bring our children inside. We don't want any
Yes.
outside child. Or they
Right.
start saying problems to start happening in the family if that child is born outside and not brought in.
Yes.
So it's all part of culture too now. It's a
Yeah.
way
No,
match
it
that puts the
is.
man in trouble.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. In that way, you're saying that your point is that culture is good in that way because it protects the unborn child. So let's say the man go do away match, like you have said, the culture go say no, bring that pikin come inside. You can't leave the pikin outside because that one our own. So you must bring that pikin inside. In a lot of instances, they go insist say the man marry the woman, but that's not even happening anymore like that. I don't know if it's still happening in the remote areas, but now you go see a lot. How many men now we they see for social media when we say they go don't do away match, they go abandon. Recently I saw, what's her name, this actress, what's her name now, Yvonne Jegede, I believe. Beautiful lady, seems to have a great head on her shoulders. The married man, the man no even want to see the pikin again.
Isn't
you
that
know
crazy?
that is
Like, I
crazy
was
to
shocked
me.
when I was watching that. She said that they were friends. They were like
Yeah.
best friends. I'm like, what could have happened? Jeez.
Do you understand what I'm saying? No matter what happened, the fact that you now have life involved, this is where culture comes in. If culture were to take deal with that situation, whether the man likes it or not, he will have to play a role in that child's life. He cannot leave that child outside. Meanwhile, it is her own father that is now acting as a dad to the child. That is awful.
That was very sad.
You understand what I'm saying? So to that extent, Ojemo, I'm saying that you're saying that culture is very important, depending on the person and depending on where they're coming from, to in put nipping some things in the bud. For instance, in case of a child that comes where the man go do away match, right? The families go say, the culture go say, Mba, that child is our own. We cannot afford to have our blood lingering outside somewhere. That child must come in. If that child doesn't come in, something will start to go wrong in the family. To that extent, we appreciate culture, right? There's some cultures where, for instance, in I don't know if is it Calabar culture now, where they teach women when you don't attain that age of puberty, as a now puberty they call them, as woman, they will take you enter fattening room, teach you some skills, right? But not be all culture get them. Not be all cultures get them. They go take you enter fattening room, teach you how to please your man, how to do this, how to move your waists and all the whatever, right? But not be all culture get them. In the same Nigeria, there's some cultures where even as a woman, even though you're married, the man, it's okay if the woman steps out. The man go still take the woman back. In
Wait,
the
wait,
same
wait. Where?
Nigeria. In Nigeria, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
That's
There's a
very
There are some
culture.
cultures too in the middle belt where the men offer their women out to visitors.
They still do
Yes.
that.
They
I
still
don't know
do.
if they
Some
still do
still
it
do
though,
till now. Somebody was saying it like
but
they
it's their
still practice
culture.
it till now. It's their culture.
But
So
I
the
have a question.
husband, go ahead.
Culture, you know how in more developed nations where you have a social contract between the people and the rulers, culture is our own social contract. What I want to know is why doesn't our own culture evolve and keep, because culture is supposed to evolve and keep growing and improving itself. So why is it that some people are moving in one direction and our own culture just wants to stay stagnant?
Because
I beg,
Bibi, welcome. Sorry. Oh
make I
yeah.
jump. I bring cola nuts,
Thank
granuts,
you.
and guguru
Thank
and
you.
ekpa.
So good to hear your voice,
I
So
Bibi.
don't
good
want
Thank
to
any
hear
of
your
that. I
voice.
don't want any of that.
Did
You
you
don't.
bring
Okay.
garden egg?
Ah,
Garden
ah,
egg.
I bring alligator pepper safe. I bring alligator pepper. I know
You're
soju. You
welcome.
sabi?
You're welcome. You're welcome, my sister. God bless you. You
Oh,
will live
Jare,
long.
my sister. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ah,
I beg, this cultural problem. Me, I like to scatter ground and look for trouble. Now who starts culture?
Please do. That na where we dey here. Na to scatter ground and look for
Now
trouble.
who starts the culture? Culture was set up
Na
by
human
men.
being now. Na
It
men
was
do
set
am.
up
Forefathers.
by men to favor
Forefathers.
the man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all cultures in every part of the world, it favors the men more. When woman want chook mouth put, wahala go enter. Now there then go no say you're a woman, you are seen and you are not heard.
Mm.
In the call for me, oh my yeah, this matter we start so and a big matter, no be small thing. Does
No.
culture does culture hinder relationships? Absolutely, it does. I mean, let's tell ourselves the truth. It does. If your mama saying a Yoruba person she want as daughter-in-law, I be your son-in-law, can you go against it? Wouldn't you want to make the woman happy? No, be pele, you go take
No, not
soften.
me. Not me.
No, but I'm saying it exists.
Yeah,
It
I
may not
understand
have
what you're
happened to
saying. It
you.
does.
It
Yeah,
may not
it
have happened
does.
to you, but it exists. And
It
not just
has
in
happened
Yoruba
to me.
culture.
I mean, I met an Igbo guy who said he couldn't marry me because I wasn't Igbo. I have come
Exactly.
across it.
It cuts
Yeah.
across board. And you see,
Mhm.
for me, I think culture may not be so strong when there is abundant finances. Everything will just be swept under the rug. If the man come with money or the woman collects money for body, everybody will put culture aside and everybody will go to what they are supposed to. But culture will only come up when there are little hindrances here and there, and people want to pick on things. And sometimes it may not even be the finances; it may just be the persons themselves. I mean,
Mm.
there are times you get into a beautiful family, but the mother-in-law is just a grand witch. Period. There's nothing you can do. How you want to do no, that one, whether you were next door neighbors from the beginning to the end, if she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. Will the relationship go to anywhere? Up nowhere. It won't go anywhere. So yes, while culture can hinder relationships, a lot of times it also depends on the individual too. If you have
Yeah.
somebody that is stubborn and says, you know what, mommy, I love you, but it is my life and I decide what I want to do with it or who I want to end up with. If you want to be part of it, you're welcome. But if you decide to be difficult, I would keep you at an arm's length. In that particular situation, culture can't do anything.
Mm.
But it is always wise to play gently with those cultural things so that tomorrow, when anything happen, nobody go open mouth or say, to see if you hear anything, if we talk. That's how we be telling us, make you no agree here, you no agree here, no agree here. I was listening to what's her name? Tony, I think Tony Aimaku's interview, Bite Buka, and she said that the first guy that she married, the family prayed and told her that that was not the right person for her. And she did not listen. And she went ahead and she married the person, and things did not work out well. But this second one that she was married to, the family prayed and the family said, yes, go ahead. And she went ahead with that. Now, Yoruba, then bio. Are we going to say culture had anything to do with it?
No, Tony is not Yoruba. Tony is
She's
actually
not?
Edo.
Oh,
Mm-mm,
okay.
she's not. She's
Okay.
Edo. She's from
So in
I
that
want to say
situation,
Isako or something, but yeah, go ahead.
it,
But she grew up in Ibadan, so
yes. So in that
mm.
situation, are we going to say culture had anything to do with it? She had to listen. When she did not listen, we saw what happened. And when she listened, we saw what happened. But at the end of the day, if she had put her foot down as well and said, no, this is the person I want to end up with, whether things are good or bad, are we going to say that it is culture? So I think it's all over the place. It really is all over the place. At the end of the day, for me, is how strong are you as a person? How far are you willing to go for that person? How much do you know of that person? I mean, a good example, like I was listening to you guys mention now about Yvonne Jegede, you know, in such a situation, everything was fine, but the idiot is just an idiot. Because how you go take born pikin and you don't want to have anything to do with the child? Who are we going?
Tire.
Are we going to blame culture in that one? And this wasn't a case of I met you somewhere or I introduced you. They both knew themselves very well. In her mind, she was married and settled. But in the guy's mind, he wasn't in the mood. He wasn't all there for it. So I think it's all over. At the end of the day, it's the individual themselves that matters. How do you feel? If your mom says, okay, you know what, I'm not going with you because I do not like that culture, can you withstand it and tell her, this person makes me happy? And you just have to wait and see. Allow me to prove you wrong. And if it doesn't go the way you plan it, will you be able to say, you know what? It wasn't because I did not listen to you, it just did not work out. And I'm going to take responsibility for it. So I think it goes left and south.
So you're saying, for everything you're saying makes absolute sense. So what you're saying is culture it should be approached from an individual standpoint based on what the both parties want, because culture can be amended to suit your lifestyle. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, for instance, you day all of us we do Obodo Ibo. I don't know if a family is raising their child, maybe somewhere like Turkey, and the child goes to school there, and the child is well grounded there, and the child decides to bring, okay, I want to marry a Turkish girl, not necessarily a Muslim girl, and they are both happy. Will the father say, no, you have to marry Nigerian? No, I don't want you to bring any. I mean, where will they take that father to? Are you not happier seeing your child's happiness? Isn't that the wish of every parent? You raise children to see them be happy. You guide them to see them be happy. So why would you now start bringing barriers that don't even exist in the child's mind? Because a lot of times, children that sit down together from different parts of the world, they see humans, they see another flesh, they see another playmate, they see another person that can jump up and down. Adults in that same room are the ones that will see the different races. And
Mm.
when we go back to the beginning, when God created humans, he created the human race. He did not create racism, because culture comes from racism. Let's be sincere. Your geographical location definitely applies, but na me go no say no, na Igbo man be this. I know, like as they take chop the nkwobi, as I be cook the pepper meat with the goats, I fit do and soon better pass am. It's us that see all of that. But the kids, they see love, they see peace of mind, they see confidence, they see someone that is going to back them up, and they want to go with that. They don't even look at the colors, the language, how you speak. A good example that I've always loved is Michael Bublé. When he met his wife, she did not understand English, he did not understand his language. But today, they have kids together. They have transcended culture because of what exists between both of them, love. So I will go with the fact that, look, culture, put it inside a box and put it to one side. It should not affect relationship.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, hey, that's a great point. So let's hear what Ophelia. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here, Ophelia. So good to have you. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to be here with my queens. I was just listening to you guys. I say, but you all are all ladies. So I didn't want to be like
I
an
know.
intruder, but I know that a one-sided story
Yes,
is dangerous. So it's always good to hear from
Yes, so Oga
from
brother
both
that
sides.
Ophelia,
is true.
we plenty where you go follow
We
you fight where we.
appreciate you.
No, you won't fight with me because um I thank God I was brought up in a family where I was taught our original culture. You know,
Mm,
most of the things we practice now as African culture is not our culture.
mm,
500 years ago, somebody came into Africa and told us that three men created the heaven and earth, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. But in our own culture as Africans, we had the institution of the women and we had the institution of the men. And each and every one of them respected, we have mutual respect for each other because we know that everything God created is double. We've got two eyes, two ears, everything is double, and we have equal respect. So religion infiltrated our culture and gave us now what we have as African culture. Even back in the days when our parents uh, had to marry, it was the wife that suggests to the husband, "You are getting old. Only you cannot be working in the farm. Let me get you another. Let me go out and get you another girl that you can get married to." So she will help uh, so she will help the production in the farm and all that. Now that we are getting old, if you go to the Bible, it's the same story. If you go to every part of Africa, even in the Bible, the same way we marry, even the Bible is copying from Africa, because even when Jesus had problem, he had to run to Egypt. And back in the days, Egypt was the whole of Africa. It's not a particular place as we know it now. Ethiopia was the whole of Africa, is not just one part of Africa. So a lot of things we don't know is that because of these things, because my a Greek teacher told me that if you tamper with the roots of a tree and you keep tampering with that root, that tree would die. So what's happening to us now is that we are being our roots is being tampered with, and we are losing ground. We don't even know who we are. We don't have value. Like I heard somebody talking about poverty in the villages. I'm a very stubborn kid, so when I do things in Lagos, my dad used to deport me to the village to stay with old people, as a form of punishment. So I have a bit of experience living in the village. And I when I was in the village, there was nothing like, I was living with my uncle. There was nothing like poverty in the village, because
True.
because
True.
they produced their own food.
Yes.
And when we the young boys, when we are hungry, we go and chase rabbits. And when we come back, we come with four or
Yes.
five of them, and we make pepper soup. So at the end of the day, even when people come from the city, we don't even value, because then they'll tell you, "Do you know what he's doing in the city? Maybe he's a criminal. Maybe he must have stolen." So we run away from people from the city. And we don't even look up to them for anything, because everything we wanted, we have. So this poverty of a thing is that people in the city kept going to our villages, and they kept telling them, "You are poor, you are poor, you are poor." And they believed it. So most of them now left the villages and now went to the city. And that's why these Fulani headsmen are taking over our villages right now. I live in Belgium, and the richest people in Belgium live in the villages, and they are farmers. And most of them, they don't even travel to Brussels or to Antwerp. They were born there. They stay, like the cafe where I go to hang out with my friends, is from father to son. Like for generations, they had that cafe. And you
Right.
ask the man, why don't you want to leave this business? He said, "My father passed it to me, and it's been on for like 4 or 5 centuries. So why would I want to close it down?" So what they do is that when this one takes over the business, he allows the business to evolve with time. Our culture was not allowed to evolve by we didn't evolve it by ourselves. It was somebody that came from outside and told us, "This is democracy. This is how you have to live your life. This is how you have to plan your business. This is how you have to do your businesses." Our system was a perfect one. If you read old books, you find that our parents didn't have problems like young girls. You have young girls walking around almost naked, and
True.
nobody was raping them. But now,
Hey, that word though, no use
okay,
kerewa them. Use
no,
kerewa
okay,
them.
nobody was KYing them, you know, and when you want to when you want to date a girl, you go and ask permission from their parents. Everybody knows about it. Even when I was growing up as a kid, because the villagers said I had so much respect. They always bring something like they give me goats, chickens, because you have so much of. You are going to marry my daughter, you know. So they keep that relationship until we are maybe 18 years old and we are old enough to make that decision if we want to live together. So, but there's this relationship with families, you know, and when you are old enough, then you can decide. Nobody brings a man from the outside and say you must marry this man or you must marry that woman. But all this thing came with the way we have we've lost our culture. So what we now have is something that looks like our culture but is not ours. That's why we can't even grab good hold of our culture right now.
Okay,
Everything we do.
let me ask you a question, Ophili.
Yeah.
So now the conversation we're having is in relations to is in relation to relationships. You know, how has culture affected, hindered or affected relationships? You know, like marriage, for instance. Now, a lot of people back in the day, they will say, you hear a lot of people nowadays, some of them, not all, saying, the back in the day, we could just have multiple wives and blah blah blah, and they all lived peacefully together. And some people are romanticizing that whole idea of wanting to be polygamous. Okay,
Mm.
without really understanding what it means. So this is what we're talking about. Now, some people have been saying the difference between culture and tradition. I beg, I know na night school I go. All of una one I won't give me a homework dictionary. Me, I can't go dictionary, Google. Tradition. Tradition says it's the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on in this way. I'm talking about the culture with regards to relationship. I'm not talking about tradition. Tradition, when we talk about, I mean, my own understanding, because say I don't know everything. My own understanding, tradition, the way they say they conduct marriage traditionally. It's different from how culture take influence marriage. So, because now that one we dey talk, so now that one I want make we address. Say these people when they romanticize the idea, we have to be honest to ourselves. Even back in the day, maybe far, far, far back, there are people who were married to one wife and there was nothing wrong with it. Okay, so people had multiple wives, but the way they're talking about it is almost like every man in Africa at that time had multiple wives. That's what I'm talking about. And how has it affected, or how has it hindered, especially when it comes to women? Because we have culture where we come from that hinders women, and the culture is not all bad. There's great aspects of it, but we're talking about how it has hindered or it has promoted relationships. I don't want to repeat. I think I'm repeating myself now, so
Okay,
let me
okay,
stop. You
okay.
get the point now.
Yeah, okay. They say that if purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
True.
So a relationship, first of all, most of us don't even understand what a relationship is. We're not groomed to understand that if I have to be friends with you, there I have like now before I become friends with you, I first of all find out
Mm-hmm.
what you like doing. If it goes the same way with what I like, then we can now start the process of friendship. But
Right.
our generation now have been so much sexualized. So if you are liking somebody, it's because she has a
Backside,
certain a
front
backside
side,
or front side
package.
package. But back in the days, that doesn't actually count. And if you are a true player, somebody can have big this and big that, and the person cannot perform, or the person cannot actually give you what you want. But somebody might just be without anything. You don't even know if he's a girl or a boy, but you guys just like each other, and you are so much into it. I can predict right now. I can predict what my ex is doing right now as I'm here, because we're so much into. If I call her now, I can predict what she's doing, and there is no person that I have dated in the past that I can say that if I pick up a phone now and call the person, and the person is of it can be of help to me, and the person will not render, or I will pick up a phone and call that person and we will not be friends. Most people get into relationship these days because of how the person looks. They don't do a background check, you know. They are not, the relationships are not, they are not into each other.
Right.
So, and if it's just because of big this and big that you are dating somebody, what if that person has an accident and that thing has to be removed? That means your love will be gone.
Right. So Marriott has a question. Marriott, what was your question? Go ahead.
Okay, this was more a couple of maybe like a conversation ago when Philly was going into detail what I considered. I think what Celine was saying was tradition, and I know he was referencing. And I feel a little bit, and I don't want you to be offended, Philly, but I think there's some rose tinted glasses, look back at the past about how this didn't happen and that didn't happen.
Right.
But I think my question to you was going to be, at what point does culture evolve? I know that in the past, certain things didn't happen, but now we're living in 2022, and unfortunately, our culture has been greatly influenced by the colonizers' culture. At what point do we elevate ourselves and try to modify the things that are happening in this life to the ideals that we used to have? So not necessarily you're doing the same thing you used to do, but like you were mentioning relationships, for example. Traditionally, our culture is not a dating culture. Our culture is a culture where everybody keeps themselves to themselves as much as possible. You like somebody, you're of age, and then you pick someone, and then you're betrothed to that person, you're engaged to that person, and in maybe 3 months you marry that person, right? But now we're living in 2022, dating exists. How can we, like, at what point are we trying to adapt to our current world, but holding on to the values that we want? That, to me, it sounded like you're just saying this is how we used to do things in the past, and it's so sad that we've lost it, and what we have now is not good enough, but we have to change. Like, all these cultures that are everywhere in the world, they keep evolving, but why don't we want to evolve our own for better? Why do we want to either say this is bad right now and in the past it was so amazing? Like, why can't we move away from that?
No matter how much a pear tries to be like a mango, is so much a pear has to put so much hard work to look like a mango, and it has to work extra hard every time for a pear to look like mango. So a peer is better off being a peer than trying to be what it is not. So, and if you actually want to get things right in the future, you have to go back, not necessarily living in the past. Like I was saying in the comments, that religion infiltrated our culture and destroyed it. So what are you going to do? You go back to the culture, find out how, like what you're saying now, that our culture is not within Africa doesn't have a dating culture. It's a lie. It's the religion that came and said girls are part, boys are part. I told you when I was like 6 years, 7 years old in the village, and old people, because I'm always greeting. I always greet them and listen to them, and like if I see an old person coming back home and she's carrying something that's heavy, I try and lift up something from her that I can carry and bring it to his or her place. And then these people, they know me, they call me by name. Anytime I'm doing something wrong, they beat me up, and then, or if I do something wrong at home, I run to them and they help me to come and beg my parents. Just because they loved my character, they say, you are going to marry my daughter. And when I want to go and play, I go and play in their house, and I get accustomed to the family of that girl, and we grew up together. Not necessarily that, and when we're in primary school or in secondary school, we automatically become friends. We start dating. And from there, probably if we grew up like that till until like we're 18, 19, then the relationship can go a step further. So if you go back to our villages, we actually have a dating culture. It's just our city life and the religion that we subscribe to that's taking that away from us. So if you go back to understand, if you read old books, you understand how we used to live, and you have if you like if I date if I for me now, an African woman is God, is my God, because I could not have come to this world if I didn't pass through that channel. So, and that's how our forefathers, our ancestors, that's how they see women. Back in the days, like my father was a policeman with guns and everything. When I go to see him, he was a CID. So when I go to see him, in the police office, I see people respect him. But when he comes home, my mom will jump up and slap him, and he will just be laughing. I said, "What kind of a man is he?" And I grew up with that. I grew up with that attitude. Somebody that is so much respected as a policeman comes back home, and one short woman is beating him up, and he doesn't even make. He will just be laughing. That's because he grew up with a culture that respects women. So any man you see that will hit up a girl is because he grew up with that PTSD, seeing the father mess up with the mother. So he doesn't see anything wrong in beating up a woman. And if you go to other cultures too, that actually copied our culture and they are now living our lives, they don't, like in Europe where I live, you don't hit a woman. So, but in our culture now, we have reduced women to an object you can go and buy and decorate in your use. You buy that product and now use that product to decorate your house. She has no opinion. You provide, of course, we use that mafia word. I provide for the family. So you are like a teen god. Nobody steps on your authority.
So,
But
Ophelia, I want to quickly say something. Sorry to just come in like this. So,
yeah,
when you said something about dating, there was no word like dating in the African context. Because when you meet
it's
somebody, at least, right, if I remember my history correctly,
mm,
if you meet someone, if someone sees you in the village, they like you people can be yes, what's it called, running out maybe in the dark or something to go and meet each other and be talking and be plucking mango under the mango tree and talking. It
mm,
wasn't dating. Now, if the person had an interest and he liked you enough, right, they will come and meet your parents and tell your parents, we like this flower, we want to pluck, or whatever else they say. And I did see that someone had mentioned in the comment section, like, let's not generalize about the culture. So that's not what we're doing. I'm trying to relate it to the what we're talking about here, because I know that Africa is very diverse and it's from tribe to tribe. So what works for one tribe doesn't necessarily work for the other tribe, you know. So I wanted to quickly mention that, that. And then you also mentioned about, somebody here just said, is it right for a woman to hit a man? Of course not. It's not right for anybody to hit anybody. So I think he was just trying to make a point about how much his father respected his mother as a woman, because in his culture they have a lot of, they see the woman as the god, just eat plants. I hope you understand that. So yeah, so basically that you get my point though.
yeah,
I know
I,
I was all over the place. You can go ahead, sorry.
yeah, like if you see the cock and the hen, if you touch the chick, right? That's the baby of a hen, right? The chick.
Yeah,
It's the mother that will attack you.
this is
So
true.
so it is feminine for the feminine always overreacts, but it's the duty of the man, because a man is supposed, even all these mafia world of a man providing. Man is supposed to serve and protect. That's the job of a man. In terms of provision, they both do it together, because when you do it alone, you become a god. And our culture is not rooted, like people say, African culture is not. It's just that, like I heard somebody saying, there's a culture where people give you their wife or their children. When back in the days, there was one time that invaders came to Africa. So when they come, these people don't want any trouble. So in order to maintain peace, they give their daughters to these people. Say, okay, don't kill us. So don't kill us. We are ready to give you some of our daughters, but don't kill us, so that we can stay as a community. So these people lived so long with that lifestyle, and they now suddenly made it a culture, because culture is a kind of lifestyle that people in a particular area, what they subscribe to. And then the action is that's the chore. The culture is the action of the cult, what they subscribe to. So these people don't want any trouble. So when people come to visit them, they now give them, just, oh, we are living here peacefully as a community. We don't, because African people are not violent people. They just want to, like, if you find Africans in, like, where you really want to experience Africans is in the villages. They don't want any trouble. They don't want to be stressed. They
I
don't.
agree with you on that. I really do. Marriott, you say you have a personal story. Let's hear now. Yeah, I like gist. Oh, yeah. Tell us.
Okay, so I want to share because there's a point where BBMJ was talking and saying, how kids don't see others, they're just another human being. And I was just thinking, but unfortunately, those kids grow up and then they take on all sorts of cultural whatevers.
Right.
And so when I used to, Ojuma said, please share. So when I lived in Nigeria, as you know, I'm a Yoruba person, but um, I dated a Hausa guy from Katsina. A
You
Hausa guy
actually
who used
look
to,
like Hausa.
oh Lord,
You look like them. You resemble them.
oh
Fulani to be precise.
Lord. So, and he was the one type I used to wear traditional clothing, like the hat and everything, every day. And when this happened, I lived in Abuja, and such a great guy, probably one of the best people I've ever been with. Amazing guy. But I'm telling you now, I don't think I ever got as much attention dating that guy or dating anyone else as I got dating him. Even when I dated a non-black person in Nigeria, I never
Wow.
got as much attention when I dated him, because I know Abuja is a city, it's like our capital, but still, kind of, it's like the north, kind of. Almost every single day, even though the people in the relationship didn't care about their culture, he was Muslim as well. Like, even though we
Mm-hmm.
didn't care about our cultural differences, every day somebody reminded us that there was a problem. Every single day. Like, we could be going to a supermarket, like, and in Abuja, the people just default to Hausa very, very quickly. And I didn't understand a word of Hausa.
Right.
But sometimes we'll be at the store and he'll be talking to these people and they're looking at me and I'm smiling because I already know what's happening. When we'd leave, he'd explain to me that he had to tell them that I was African American. Because for them, it's always, why are you with this person? Because they clock me that I'm not Fulani looking, not Hausa looking. Or there'll be a time in a store where one lady was complaining that why is he choosing somebody from somewhere else? Why aren't they choosing, why you're leaving our girls and you're choosing one of these ones, basically. And he's there just, rapping in Hausa. There are times where there was one time we went to I don't know, we went to like a court, we were at a court and I was with my friend and she had spaghetti straps on and he was holding my shoulder and we heard this man billowing from one corner, literally shouting, "How can you do that? And you're wearing the hat, because he had the traditional whatever on."
Mm.
We say culture doesn't matter, but culture, like, people, like, those kids are going to grow up and they're going to carry, like, they're going to inherit the biases of wherever they come from. I know we like to think that we're so evolved, but we're still from that culture.
Right.
When you meet people from a different culture, they can clock you very quickly, like, okay, this is not what we do. Like the way we're talking about how Nigerian men provide, I carry that attitude everywhere, even though I'm very, very, very liberal, very out there, very open to other cultures. I carry that mentality everywhere. You can see it, people can see it, right? So
Right.
even though we like we evolve, but our culture doesn't leave us. Again, me and the person that
Yes.
we're in the relationship, we're very okay with our differences. Like I would say we kind of share similar backgrounds. Like even though we had like, families from different ethnic groups, different religions, we had both just come back from the UK. So for us, just like, two of us against these people in Nigeria. But every single day, I never forgot in that city. Never forgot. Even
Mm.
on my side, people were like, "Are you really going to be dating this house guy?" And I'm like, "What's wrong with him? Are you going to convert to Islam?" I'm just like, "We're not there yet. Like, why are we talking
God.
about this?"
Yeah.
I was reminded every single time that I wasn't from that culture.
That culture. Mm.
Even though, again, the person was fine, like, don't
Yeah.
care. We were very chill, like we really, really got along very, very well. And we didn't break up because of the cultural difference. We broke up for other reasons. But people don't people can't shed it and still meet the same person. I decided an evil guy, and this one was the funniest thing. I'll give you two stories that happened with that one. So one day he introduced me to his friend, and the guy, also an Igbo guy, they were both from the east. Like these are people from they're not from Lagos. They're not like Lagos people are like me, like wherever ethnic group, right? These are people that
Mm-hmm.
grew up in Aba or something. And the guy came, shook the person that I was dating, shook another guy. I brought out my hand to shake him, and he just looked at me and like looked away. I'm just like, what just happened? So when the whole meeting was over, the guy said, "Yeah, because they don't shake women." I'm just like, wait, what? Like, no, like that's not a thing from that
Right.
end. Not even like maybe it wouldn't apply to somebody who grew up in Lagos, because that doesn't make any sense. But from wherever he was coming from his village is in the interior of the interior, maybe he didn't grow up in the city. I don't know where, but the person that I was seeing said, no, this is not. You're not supposed to expect that.
Right.
So even people, no matter how much education people get, no matter how, like, I believe that our culture must evolve. It can't just stay in this is how we used to do it back in the day. So therefore we must all, like, we have to change. I'm not saying that just forget you know, what your people are doing. But what I'm advocating for is, let us distill it and take out the values of why you were doing that thing. So, for example,
Right.
when you say women should marry as, people that have never carried one, men should marry people that have never carried one, why were you doing this? Let's take out the values and try to adapt to what is happening right now,
Right.
as opposed to
Interesting.
this is how we used to do it. So therefore,
Yes.
women used to
Let's
do this.
continue.
Let's just
Mm.
continue. Because then how do we move forward? Like, how do we evolve
Evolve
ourselves?
as a yes.
Like what you are saying, I'll give Oyinbo people from England as an example. There's something called Victorian times. They were used to clutch their pearls. They used to burn their aje at the stake.
Mm-hmm.
Their women were classified as children. They evolved
Mm-hmm.
to this point. What they are doing now is
Yes.
not their culture. They
Yes.
changed because they had to realize, okay, this is happening. It doesn't benefit us to continue this way. It doesn't benefit us. Like, this is very random, but forced Kerewa does not exist in marriage in Nigeria till now. In England, in the US, abolished it 30 years ago. That used to be their culture too.
Right.
I'm not saying that we should just forget our values. Like, take the values and try to adapt it to what's happening now. Let's not just say, oh no, this is how it used to be. So we
Romanticize
have
the
to make
whole
it work.
idea of
If you
right.
if even in this day and age, the crazy thing is I actually haven't had a Yoruba boyfriend, even though I'm a Yoruba girl. But one of my friends used to date one, and when they were still dating, the guy would ask her things like, you come to my house all the time. Oh, Bale, you can't sweep. You can't even
Ah,
wash. Because
oh
God, in
God.
Yoruba culture, that is, you are, as when
That's
you're a girlfriend, you are
expected.
the yawo, is expected.
Yeah.
So she was looking at him like, are you serious? You're like, and he's from a very, nice, educated, wealthy home too. But he still wanted that for her because even though he's evolved in many other ways, in some ways you don't actually really evolve because human being.
Right.
Yeah. So
Can I say something, please, Auntie
Yeah,
yes,
Omoye?
please.
yeah. One quick second, Bibi. Let me acknowledge Natu. Natu, welcome. Oh, I see you coming in and coming out. Can you hear us? Is your audio okay?
Oh,
Okay, she's out. Bibi, you can go ahead.
I just wanted to add a little thing to what Marriott said in terms of, culture evolving. If you think deeply, we have kind of evolved. We don't do away with our beautiful twins anymore. We don't send pictures to our kids in different parts of the world and tell them this is the person you have to marry. I mean, those are little things. But more importantly, I think for
People
culture,
see they do am. Oh, they see the same picture. Oh. It see they happen. Oh. Oh yeah. People
that
see
person
they
wey
do
dey
am.
collect the
Oh.
picture, collect the picture, tear and put am for under pillow.
No, that they look the picture, they'll go check the person and they'll marry. See the happen. Where? So that one, we're evolving. I understand, but there's certain people are still doing it till
Yeah.
today.
But I also think that, first and foremost, for culture to evolve, it has to benefit certain people. And it's those people that it benefits that they are the ones that are going to champion that culture and make it, widely known and talk about it a lot. Because if people are comfortable and it works for them, why will they want to change it?
Right.
If it gives them an upper hand towards a certain set of people or towards a certain geographical location and it benefits them, why will they want to change it? A good example is what happens in the north. I mean, one would have thought of with the fact that with the rise of VPF and with the rise of all kinds of, unnamed disease that happens, and what the girl child, how important the girl child is in any community, they would we frown at child marriage. But what did our Senate do? They sat down and openly discussed it when people were thinking of other parts of the world are thinking of going to the moon. We sat
You
down
know,
in this 21st century and decided that the matter on the agenda should be to discuss child bride. So if culture, if the people that are benefiting from it have an upper hand, it's going to be hard for you
yes,
to change it because they don't
100%
see
agree.
they don't see any reason why they should eradicate it when it is benefiting them. If the young ones now decide to say, you know what, we like the old ones very well. However, the timeline that we have right now, this set of things is not working for us. And we have all come together and banded together and
Okay,
decide we're going
let's
to
do that with
change
everyone.
things. We're going to work things and we're going to abolish certain things.
Natu,
Then
your audio is on. We're hearing you. In case you are talking about me, I can hear what you are saying.
so they
You are
band
calling
together.
outside people, that's why. That's why you are calling outside people, that's why. We'll carry your picture. We'll carry your picture for village meeting.
No wahala. Now I did the village meeting too. All
so
of us go
so
show.
so all of those things, people that
Mhm.
benefit from it or that want that change will have to make so much noise about it. Otherwise, if it is all fair weather to a lot of other people, nobody will see any need why they need to push anything because it's like it's working. Why do you want to change it? Your grandfathers did not see anything wrong with it. Your grandmother didn't see anything wrong with it. Your father is still okay with it. A very good example is bride price. As far as I'm concerned, bride price should be done away with because it is creating more harm than good in our timeline. If you want to show appreciation, it's a different thing. But to go and give that list that is like from here to the land of Timbuktu, it makes no sense to me.
Now, poor
That
man, they do that rubbish.
so that kind culture me I want make it come out because I mean person go want marry, you go see boy we want marry young girl, he get money to take start life, but he go come they think of all the list where the papa go bring come, how then go build one canoe. For instance, for you to go marry girl for River State, if your leg no strong for ground, you go fall. Because when they go tell you, say you get to buy canoe, you get to buy this one, you get to buy that one. When they bring out all those beads for you, your eye go clear. You go think, say, babe, I love you. excuse me, I'm coming. You go waka. So I mean, such things. It starts from the people that will benefit from it. If those ones can champion it, then there can be a change. That's my little
Right.
piece.
Thank you very much, BBMG. And Ophelia, thank you very much for everything when you talk so far. I not thank you when you finish your talk last time. So I beg no verse. Now the only man when we get on our panel. So we have to give him special special kudos. All right. So Natu, welcome for
Thank
this
you.
Obonge matter.
Listen, I've been online since you guys started, but I
I
had to pick
know.
my little sister from the hospital. I have to bathe my nephew. And they do a
Okay.
mugo because I won't get Hollandis when I finish. That culture, maybe no wipe that one first. We are collect my Hollandis. And it's your love like they talk for dear. My first do a mugo collect
Oh my
Hollandis
God.
and back of
Hollandis.
rice. No, 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 no. I was so happy. I messaged Auntie B today. I said, Auntie B, so you let today pass, you don't do live for us. I don't see anybody put up there say live good. I said, this people now, wow, for now. Not too harsh. But honestly speaking, right? I forgot who spoke earlier that she said it goes both ways. It can promote healthy relationship, and in another sense, it doesn't. Like for me
Mm,
coming from the north, right? When they used to do
mm,
like when they do mostly this arranged marriage, you just wake up. I had one of
mm,
my neighbor. I wanted to get married to one girl, and then 2 weeks to the wedding, the girl said she's not doing. His uncle just went to bring his cousin and just say, "Yeah, you marry her." No, it was on the day of the wedding. I'm sorry, on the day of the wedding. So Omar just text me and like, yeah, they don't marry her with him cousin. I'm like, eh. So now because if an elder does that, you don't have the right to contest it. You just have to take it. Now he was forced to marry somebody that he does not like, he doesn't
mm,
even want, he's not even attracted to. They ended up having a child and they were divorced. Now they don't spoil each the two of them lives. Because nobody saying like the girl. Now he first her married the guy. Now anywhere where she go, anybody will want marry her, she get that tag of divorcee and outside they call am Bozora. So your
mm,
dowry no go be the same with girl wey never marry before. Even if the girl don do kerewa plenty times before, the dowry no be the same. You
mm.
understand?
Right.
And then another thing again in the north that doesn't help us, honestly, because the culture has said that a girl cannot get married pregnant. You have to get married as a virgin in quotes, even though now we do and pass. So if the after picking get belle, you don't feel married with that belle, you comot the belle. Even if belle
Wow.
dey 8 months, you
Are you
comot am.
serious?
Tell me, she just name one answer picking wey no wey marry with belle. I dey wait. Anybody for comment mention am. It
Mm,
cannot because the culture, have been a tradition, have been a culture. It forbids it. You understand? So now because our children don't they do more exposed, they want to they understand themselves better and they're exploring. You know, and with the rise of technology, there are a few things that there are a lot of things that you cannot even like train those kids or say, and these are parents, they're not like tech savvy for them to be able to know what you're doing. So you can lie
right.
and say you're doing this, but that's not what you're doing. So, but because now our parents don't, they just know black and white, you cannot be open to tell them this is what your challenge is. This person that they want to marry you don't like him more. They just tell you they are picked for you. Two reasons. Maybe because he's your cousin and you are beginning to grow in every side and they're thinking you might go astray, they marry you out. Or the boy's family have money and they want to benefit from it. And so the family will come and say, we see wife for our son. They'll say, okay, give us money. And then that's where DV comes from in every angle. Girl go marry man, you're not being satisfied, you can't talk about it, nobody will go talk to. And because our culture not create room, make it's not even now that things are changing. You cannot even your own sister to talk about this and you say, shame go they catch you.
Eh?
Of course now. So you be dealing, you go hear person go tell you, say, I don't do 2 years with my husband, 3 years, you know, touch me. Like, what were you living again? In this present time where we dey live. But because our culture no give us room, make we talk about that thing. So
Right.
no. So you end up having girls like growing up, having kids being traumatized. They can't even raise their kids the right way. They transfer the trauma to the kids. You understand? And it goes
Hmm.
on. It passes to the next generation. That's how it keeps going. And so that's why when you see some of the kids acting wild, they'll be like, nah, because I saw the people there. No, there's more to the story that has not been treated. So it has helped and it has not helped in a certain way, honestly speaking.
Right.
Even though some of our culture like help to team to put us in the right way, but like discipline not be for one culture now. There you know get culture where discipline is not required of it, where it's not required of every child to be polite to people where senior am, you understand? Now where everybody eye don't they see they reach back near ear. They tell you say that they look passive. And people they say, wait till elder see. Even small pikin climb even if you climb hill, you know, see am. My cousin say now before. Say now, even if you dey elder on that table, you go see elder no see am. So no be the generation be that waiting they really talk about. So honestly, like it has helped to some extent, but honestly, damage is there where. And like my sister has said earlier, culture it dey benefit now it can only evolve if the people where they benefit from am. Like if you benefit the people where get money. Yeah, if you get money, if you're picking, if now you go get person where you want marry, but because another person picking will get money, come. I want to remember. I want to remember the family. They married two girls for him the same day. I think he has a little
Wow.
bit of like a disorder, mental little thing. Can somebody in the
Mm-hmm.
comment section remember? I'm just mentioned. I can't remember. It happened this year. It's from one of the royal families. This year they married two women for her. So imagine say this boy get issue wey they deal with because they want make women wey go take care of am. The girl's parents they see money wey they go give them, they give am wife.
Mm.
This girl will go. At the end of the day, they are not satisfied. They go just dey there, anything, and that's why a lot of these girls resolve into like the L word with other fellow women because that's the closest they can see to them.
Mm.
I have one of my friends that told me that he has banned his wife from having best friend. And let me tell you why. Because one of his friends, best friend, in quotes, was actually a man. It was her boyfriend. So you know this long hijab that we have that we used to put. So the
Mm-hmm. Used
guy
to
will
cover
do
it.
it. So you cover face and then you come with one other lady and they will say they are friends, they are friends. So you'll be thinking until one
Hey.
day, yes, the friend caught them
Wow.
red-handed. And then that my friend now came and banned his wife. No best friend. It was like that's it. That's freaking it. I laughed that they are fall for girl. I said, oh no fear.
Hey.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Yeah, but you can't talk. If you're not satisfied, you can't tell your husband you're not. You're just meant there to satisfy your husband, and that's it. You know what else I used to call? They will say Megidayazo Bude. You know what that means?
No.
Like if your husband just come, your owner just come out clothes. Let him satisfy himself,
Mm.
wake up and get up and leave. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. That
Hmm.
has been a very bad culture that has robbed our girls in so many ways. They be having like extramarital affairs, like you can't even believe it. You
Wow.
cannot. I have one of my friends that was dating a very nice guy, prominent. He's now holding one of I can't mention this thing because somebody will just know. He's a
Right.
governor now. Yeah, but apparently Allah had married him. The dad passed. So because one of the generals that was like in the rank of the Babangida mate. So imagine the girl and my mates were 40 now. And they
Mm-hmm.
married her that time to IBB mate. That man fought born and be her age mate.
Wow.
So imagine that babe when they come out for the husband house. They go down and boyfriend to become governor. Now that time not be governor. It was like something that time. If he comes to
Mm.
ABJ, she will come out for husband house, go the guy place. Why? Because the husband know they satisfy her. He carry 4 wives key for us. You know they fit do anything.
Chai.
And because her mama was going for what the guy has, she denied her
Mm.
marrying that guy. Now she's still leaving her husband house to go and meet that guy.
Chai.
You understand? So he has robbed us. As somebody was saying earlier about men used to say that back in the days our parents used to marry 3, 4 wives and be in peace. More now
Yeah.
stop that thing. In peace where? Peace fire. Ah! Make I hear word. I beg you. Like I can count. No. My father's immediate elder brother is a Christian. He has 3 wives. Forget that peace matter,
Wow.
abeg. Now show of muscle. Now they make them marry three, they marry more than one wife. There's nothing in out of all my uncles that have more than one wife. There's only one person that I know that his wife. They're not even in peace. They are forced to be in peace
Kai.
because he has mandated that peace is a must. Fight is not allowed. So if you come in place, come go gossip about not to say not to do this, he go leave. Oh. When he come, and they sit down near her, I go say, hey, what be that when you say that to do again? She will say, something. No, 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 be you see talk she do. That was how he forced them into living in peace. But why is it that some of our men too from the north, when they marry more than one, they have different houses for them? Now the lack of peace now. So maybe if they stop, they say their parents are living. No, if you go, some of them have their separate inside the house. Because if they join them inside one flat, the one work now you got to separate fight every day. Every day now go to separate fight. So maybe there has never been peace. Then now condition does they make them, or they will tell you say if you go where you want go, who go marry you now? That's the thing they will take to rob you. If you go now, so who go marry you? They will just say you because that right now. So just stay, this marriage now patience, now patience, now patience. They don't teach us how to do patience for marriage. They don't teach these men anything. Anything they
That's
don't teach
true.
them. They don't teach
Mm.
them. So it's all they've been training us since they born us so that you'll be good wife, good wife. Are you telling the husband how to be a good husband?
That's a good one, though.
When I was
That's
getting married,
mm.
my auntie-in-law was saying that she knows my husband is a very nice guy, no get problem. Say if we marry, if we get problem, na from me. Now I asked her, say you don't marry him before. You don't say why I no get shame. I asked her.
You're not
She said
really
no. I
getting
said
your mouth
no.
there. Oh
I said
my
you know
God.
I'm based on saying that you're picking. It's different. Husband and wife relationship different. Mama and pikin relationship different. Brother and sister relationship, e not the same. E no dey the same. Wanna leave that thing. So like
Mm.
I'm telling you, and as our culture has not really like taught. The only thing they go tell you say to be a man, you must provide. There's much more to provide, There's much more to providing. My sisters are just born. I thought picking now. Now that thing when they say train to be a man, train to be. I ask my sister just to go work, just go bring. They say you won't come out go jog, you go come out leave out picking, go do 3 hours. He say you don't tire. She say so me wait there with them 24 hours so come. What it go happen?
Mm.
Because they're not used to seeing that. That's why you go to
Right.
hear men go they say I won't marry woman like my mother. And I lie. Oh. You know what they won't marry woman like their mother? The one way go to tolerate their nonsense.
Yeah.
The one where they no fit talk if they talk. The one where they go feel their command. The one where they don't do anything, she go step up, do am. That's what they are looking for. They
All
no go find
right.
the one where
Not
they go
true.
pamper.
Not true.
Uh,
Thank you very much. Make I let the only man when they on top of our panel. Make I let her respond because we
Ophelia
don't
won't
hear
harass me. You
plenty
won't
things
harass
now.
me. You won't harass me.
Of
No,
course,
Philly, Philly, no go.
of course, I go harass you because you say
I
certain
do wait.
things. You see, a relationship, we don't understand the purpose of relationship. You see, they talk now, say, you get a man go like marry, they go talk, they won't marry somebody be like their mama. I won't marry somebody be like my mama because my mama, no, they take nonsense. When my mom was bringing us up, there's no girl in the house and there's no boy. I can do a lady's job. In fact, there's nothing a lady can do that I cannot do. My mother took us to the village, taught us how to pound yam as men, taught us how to grind.
Ophelia, wait. Wait. If
Yeah,
we now go village,
yeah,
so if we now go farm,
yeah,
the girls their house.
yeah.
So is it allowed if we now come back?
Hmm.
Make the girls no cook. They wait for us because they want to teach them how to cook.
No,
I just just
the girls they follow us go farm. Oh. We they go farm
and so if you now
together.
come back and I go cook,
We go cook together. We will cook together. We will eat
bro.
together. There's no job in my family. There's no job. My mother take pots. If you meet me, you will see patches for my head. My mother will take cover pot, slap you for head.
But the what I said, right? I'm not denying the fact that some people didn't get it like that, and I'm not generalizing. But out of 100, how many boys were trained like that?
That's because the parents, some of the parents don't know purpose of
Now
life
the
because my
culture,
mom.
exactly.
No,
Now the
it's not
culture thing
it's
where we
not
dey
it's not
talk with that.
no. What I'm saying, the culture has been tampered with. Like it's like tampering with the root of a tree. Like I said in the beginning, we don't understand purpose of life. Purpose of life is not to lock four women in a room and have sex with them anytime you want to. There's no fun. There's no beauty in life if you people don't exchange. The love is about service. You give me, I give you. We change it. We change the oil.
Our
We
no
leave it.
culture
We
was
leave
not
it.
no no, bro. Make you
No,
go back
no,
well.
no,
Wait
no.
now,
No,
wait,
culture were
wait,
meant
Wait,
to.
wait, wait. You know, I
wait,
didn't
Natty,
interrupt you.
make it, may land. I know say you ready to rumble go happen. May land so that you go know how to attack back or respond back, not attack, bad word,
I
respond
I
back.
am I am impatiently waiting.
I know. Just hold on.
So like I
Ophelia,
was
you
saying,
feel continue.
okay,
Yeah,
some of our parents no not prepare their children for the future, and they not really tell they, even in fact probably they don't know, you know. They don't know these things. So and they just and it's they just brought up big babies. Some of
yeah,
our men are actually babies. They don't know their left from their right. So they always need somebody like their mother. My mother does not is not ready to pamper you for anything. You must do what you're supposed to do. You must do what you're supposed to do in the if you want any kind of love, she will give it to you. But when it comes to doing your duties, are like house chores and all, everybody is equal in the house. There's no man, there's no woman. But
right.
in some families, you go there and the guy is sitting down in the living room, and then the girls in the house are taking care of everything. But my mom said, what about if your wife is pregnant and you are the only one in the house? Can't you help her out? So some of these men, and that's why I think just like the situation of Nigeria now, if you see Obi, I when I was reading through Obi's life story, I understand that people used to bring their children to Obi's mom to train for them.
Hmm.
And if you see Obi's attitude, there is the feminine side of Obi and there's the masculine side of Obi.
I can see that. Yeah.
Some people only see the feminine side, but when he becomes president, that's when you actually see the masculine side of him. And when I see his lifestyle, I see that I will respect you. I will do anything you want. But when I have a relationship and you say because you're my father or because of your my mother, you want to talk in that relationship, I will show you your line.
Yeah.
When I came
My
to Europe,
brothers, Ophelia, before you continue, sorry to interject like this. My brothers are actually like that because when you're talking about how your parents raised you and your sisters, it was the exact same thing with us. All of us used to go to the farm together. Everybody had a week of cooking for the house and
uh,
taking care of the house and cleaning the house. Today my brothers are, most of them are married, and they cook. When you go there, when you go and visit them, now they cook, they go serve you, now they bath their pikin, now they prepare lunch. Sometimes when their wives are pregnant and they do everything because they know how to do it, because we do everything together growing up. So yes, there's a feminine side of them and there's a masculine. The masculine side, when you show up, everybody they respect, we will maintain. So I understand what you're saying, so please continue.
like when like in the Edo Watch broadcast from yesterday, I heard one guy insulting one elderly one elderly man.
Right.
Back back in the days when we had Boy Scout, we had Man O' War, we had people like this. We just trick you into the forest, and we deal with you seriously. There, when you come back, your parents will come to us and thank us very well because we now teach you respect. So most of these people don't know how to respect people because they. You see, some of these people they say they are hard guys. They have not really seen the hard side of life. It's just what they see. They've watched they've watched one movie and they think they are strong enough. They've watched one Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie and they think, and they've been to the gym and they think they know everything about being a man. So we just trick you into the forest and show you fear. And when you come out, you be a grown man and you know when to respect. You are supposed to respect the woman. You're supposed to protect the woman. You're supposed to respect elderly people. That's part of our culture. And if you do these things, you have a better life. You don't have stress in your life when you respect. Imagine what is a relationship if it's about just and getting involved with a woman and sex. What is sex? You guys have to go out. Yeah, it's not. Sometimes you make jokes, you do pillow fights and all that stuff. That's what relationship is all. It's all about. It's not about keeping 4 women in a room, and you don't enforce peace. You need peace and justice when you are doing the wrong thing. But if you do the right thing, life will go so smooth for you in the way you wouldn't even expect it. You only need to enforce peace when you are doing the wrong thing. Peace is automatic. Justice is
No,
automatic when you do
bro,
the right thing.
Ophelia, when you are marrying women from different background to come and put them in the same house, they are coming from different background. Oh. Somebody in a rush, they carry and bring her up. Somebody never hear arguments for their house.
Mhm.
No, even you as you are, if you
Mm.
marry, it takes you a while to adjust because both of you are coming from different background. What she's doing is not what you're used to. What she's
No,
doing is not what you're used to. So you have to take time to be able to adjust to understand her. So if you are marrying more than one wife, you are bringing women from different background in one house. Imagine my uncle from Kaduna went to marry Ogori woman. Ogori from Kaduna. What in Ogori and Kaduna? Do you understand the agenda that has to go on there?
yeah,
This one,
because
they
be,
drink alcohol for middle of house. For my side, is forbidden. Is forbidden. For our
yeah,
side, is not a problem. It's normal.
yeah, because the guy, but that's supposed to be the guy's problem, not anybody's. Like my grandmother used to smoke. She used to smoke with her piper. Is it piper they call it? This thing
Pipe.
they
Yeah.
pipe. She smokes pipe. So in the new age that we live, that is not supposed to be what a woman should do. But she smokes confidently
Bro.
in her house. So what a woman decides, if I decide
Okay.
to get
Let me
involved.
bring one scenario for you. Let me bring one scenario for you. You said something like
Wait,
said
wait.
we're
Now to make
supposed
you
to.
finish that one point. You get one point when one finish. May you finish am. I know say your body dey hot now too. May you finish am. Then
when
you
I
talk your own.
when I
I'm
meet
calm. I'm
somebody
calm.
when I meet somebody that smokes or drinks and I find her comfortable, and I know that is what is really good for my life. What is any other person's problem if she drinks or she smokes? It's supposed to be my problem. But the problem is the person getting married to her, does she understand the purpose of relationship, first of all? Because that's the bigger, because I see all this, like, I grew up with very, very old people. So I see some of these people, they say, when we started our relationship, I thought he was a very good guy. My dear, they're going to, every man, every woman show you their character in the first 2 weeks. It's just that you are not able to look, you're not able to see. If I'm going to be a murderer, you will notice that in the first 2 weeks, if you have your eyes open and you are watching every step that I make, you would know.
Iro.
Okay, so now to wetin you want talk? Talk the story. Talk the analysis. Cause I know say your body dey hot. Oh yeah.
No, so no, now Ophelia say I want ask. So you said we're
Ophelia,
supposed to
thank you.
respect.
Those points when you make very sound points.
We're supposed to be obedient. We're supposed to be clinical. Men are supposed to respect women. Blah blah blah. And as we were raised too, our culture, like men are supposed to be like the providers, protector, clinical. Why men now want the share bill with women?
Are you
Do
asking
you
me?
understand? Yeah, I'm bringing you to a point. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that that's the expectation that is expected of men in the society to do this, to do this, to do. But when you come into the society, it's not like that. You never hear when they say you born pikin, you not born in character. You never hear. When did you
That's
never see
true.
different life people
But
before.
Ophelia
You never see different life
is
people.
not wait oh not to. E be like say you come with with this. Ophelia is not again. We don't say
No, no,
we're just
no,
having
no.
an open conversation. You just come, you be like say
Me
you
too
want, you ready
now.
to
Me too
eh?
now. Now open now. Wetin happen? Be like say I never
Okay.
chop. Now you make.
And maybe because your body let's say you all come attack Ophelia, I have to be
It's
coming
like,
in.
now question are they ask. These African men
Okay.
no one let me see road. A question are they ask. If now,
Okay.
no, I don't. No, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Because I just feel like he's being more theoretical. Do you understand?
No, he's
I
not being he's okay. What he's saying, for instance, right? The example he gave about his parents and the way he was raised. I was raised like that with my brothers. My brothers, if you see my
see.
brothers, you know will believe.
We dey go farm for outside place now. My father farm come, my grandfather get farm. And if he carry me go farm today, I go still work from morning till evening. I dey
I
America at least
understand
I will
both
still go farm.
boys and girls, and we they
Right,
take
I
turns to cook.
understand.
You understand? So in they come from me own, everybody get their own experience when they share because we all come from. I'm very happy. We all come from different background. I'm from Edo. You are Hausa. He is from Ophelia. Where you come from? East, right? The east. You're from the east.
Yeah, close
It be
to the
like middle.
river.
Close to the hair. BBMJ. BB. Omo Yoruba. Abi.
But wọ́n bí mi lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, Èkó náà ti bí mi o, ọmọ Èkó ni mí.
Okay. Omo Ekole. Okay.
Mhm.
Marriott is
Hey.
a Lagosian. BB, you are Yoruba too now? Is BB
But
on mute?
I am all the above.
Okay, you
Yoruba, Hausa, I am United Nations. Put me
Wazobia
together. Yami
plus
Wazobia.
everybody else. Okay, no problem. All join. So guess what? We all come from different tribe, right? And we all have different ways of doing certain things. Now, this is the because all of us right now, the world is a global village, especially us for Nigeria. Everything we need to understand each other well. The way we say they do things for my side, different from the way they say they do things for Natu side, different from the women they say they do things for Ophili side, right? So wetin me dey wey me the goal of this conversation now, I want make we dey get this conversation so that we fit maybe influence some changes in our culture with regards to because I feel I'm not from all the tribes in Nigeria, so I cannot speak for each and every one of them. I feel to an extent that the culture is lopsided. It benefits the men more than the women. Even though there are some families where they raise their daughters and their sons very well, which is there are not many.
No,
Many families do
what
not
I'll be
raise their
glad, what I
family.
will say, right? I feel like our generation are doing a little bit better than our parents did. You understand? You know, like at that time, like our parents, like a girl cannot even come to her mom and have certain conversations. But now we're beginning to make it open for our girls to be able to trust us to have certain conversations. Like imagine my elder sister was raped one time. She wasn't even able to tell my mom till like almost 30 years later. You understand? Because it wasn't like my mom was she's an amazing mom. But because she's like that strict person, my sister was scared that if she goes to open up to her, she might beat her or something. The assumption she just had in her head. You understand? But this generation, I'm so glad that we're doing a lot. We're
Yeah,
doing a lot,
exactly. And yes, you're right.
and we
Cynthia,
have to keep pushing for
Uganda.
that.
Sorry, Nacho, let me recognize Uganda in the house. Cynthia, you are right. Uganda in the house. And I'm sure everybody from your own end too is very different. So, Nacho, sorry, continue. Sorry.
You know, even in the north, I would tell you like the level of which girls are attaining education now, like it's very, very encouraging. I have one of my friends, they have had like 3 masters. Every time I ask her what she's gonna use it to do, she's like, that's not my business. But it's interesting to see like parents are encouraging their kids to do all that now. Anytime she just get admission, just tell the father, I got admission for another master's, you see how much she will send money, you know? But before it's not like that, they'll just tell you to come back home and come and marry. So I think our generation are doing a little bit better. The boys too, they're training the boys. We just encourage ourselves. Now, if you have sons, you know, you should do you should help them more so that when they will treat other people's daughters better. You know what I'm saying? If their dad is doing something that you're seeing that they are picking from it and you know that it's not a good habit, you try to like do something about it, either speak to your husband or change that narrative. My sister-in-law was teaching her son how to like sweep and do some little things, and one of my niece went there the same age and she could not even sweep, and my son-in-law's like how will this one that is a boy learn to sweep, and you as a girl, you're not. But she's like, I'm just teaching him to do that because I don't want him, when he gets married, to be stressing somebody's child that his wife have to cook, because his mom said, me, I don't like cooking myself, and my husband likes cooking. So I'm glad, and I have to teach my son. They don't live together with the husband, you understand? But she has to teach the son to learn how to do that. So if we will do more of that, it's going to help the society in return, honestly speaking. And I still have a lot of household friends that will say, I don't want to marry more than one wife. I don't want headache. I don't want to marry more than one wife. I even marry more than one wife. You have to have the mental. See, even in Islam itself, oh, person where they marry more than one wife, they go get that condition there on top. You must be able to take care of them to marry more than one. And take care of them, it means like mentally, financially, spiritually, everything join inside. You understand? So, I mean, if mothers, if we have not even mothers, even the fathers, even though only one man we get for panel today, but if we're able to do more, honestly, to help the society. So we have our own role to play,
Absolutely,
small,
I
small.
agree with you. What happened to Ophelia? Ophelia, where are you, Ophelia? Thank you so
Now
much
me
for your
chase am, now me
contribution.
chase
Oh.
am. I tell
I
myself
don't
I'll
know,
And
be
carry
I
like
catch
don't
up
take
with
nothing.
my
side
day.
drive my brother and I call the ask
Exact.
where is Ophelia? Which kind of question be that? On I
Na
take
na
panel, take
na
scatter
na
my brother head.
It's
na
The
not
boy
na
say
us.
making
two
making
driver.
go
Natu,
level in head.
Natu.
We are
Our
not
No, no,
Na
asking
no,
our
native
no.
anger
driver.
Now
came.
hunger, now hunger, now hunger,
He came with
now
the
hunger. They
fire,
worry.
and he
I'm
said
telling you.
no.
Now hunger.
They to see what you don't do, Ophelia. Ophelia, I better not
They
vex. So
love me.
wherever you are, we
Ophelia
really
na
Ophelia, come,
appreciate
lie.
your take.
I will buy you
See,
suya.
my
I will make
brother,
suya for you.
my brother,
I will
I
make
beg
suya for you.
vex well well. As you vex, now
Ophelia,
so the
come, I
suya
will
go
make
to
suya.
increase.
Tell
Please,
Ophelia I will make suya for him.
Ophelia vex plenty because the suya go just they double they go. Make you vex well well.
No, but
Ophelia, no
I'm really
vex.
glad we're
So
having this
please
conversation,
call
honestly.
again. Oh,
Oh, can
I
I
am
say
enjoying
something?
it too.
I just remembered
Sure.
something.
Ah, Miriam don't come. Oh.
Say,
Hey,
what did you
she
say?
go
Sorry.
Say
throw
it.
away
Say it.
No,
question now.
I just,
Hey,
I
we
just
go
remember.
ECOWAS, go they find the answer. She
No,
don't
no,
come.
no,
Oh.
no, no, no. I just realized that we're talking about these things and we're talking about it on like relationships, but
Mm.
I think we're overlooking it a little bit how our attitudes towards women in our culture actually influences our actual government policies.
True.
So Nigerian women cannot confer citizenship on a foreign husband
I
as
tell
legally.
you.
We cannot. That's to show you that we're
Mm-mm.
not
Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. What you say?
legally,
Yeah.
constitutionally. Not that you just, you pay somebody, they no, like constitutionally, we can't. Women also take on the state of their husbands. Like you just lose your identity because this is how we are seen by
Completely.
the cultures. Like we talk about it on a certain level, but it influences what's actually happening to us in terms of our rights as people in Nigeria. So like Nigeria, we need to evolve. We need to move. Like we need to actually start to claw back rights for ourselves because we're not seen as truly whole people in our various cultures. And that's why
Yes.
the laws reflect that. Like the laws reflect who we are as a people. Really. That was my little contribution. I didn't take you to any ECOWAS.
No, let me give you
No,
one
you're
analysis that
right.
goes with this. It's because there's times that they make some certain decisions because those men don't understand what women go through. If a woman is on that table to give an input on how the decision they are making will affect us, then they can like reconsider. But because we're not on that table, like now we're getting on the table though. So I'm just trying to like,
Not to. I totally disagree with you. I
yeah,
totally disagree with you. In Nigeria, we have women in every caucus. I beg.
no, no.
Tell me how you don't take
I did
caucus.
no, you are missing my
Instead,
point.
bag of rice now 55,000. How we
Ah,
take help us?
you
Okay,
are
okay.
no, you are missing my point.
I
Before
beg
the,
before now continue. Make I
the
say this
Royal Rumble
rice.
begin. Wait first, BB and Netu. Mona hold on the Royal Rumble. Ophelia, the way you take enter, I don't know. You don't let me add you. Not let you. So you need to come in with your camera, and then you fit. What's it called?
His
Um,
village people are against him.
No, I beg. Cause you come in with your camera is on is it's not showing, so you have to come in with your camera and everything. You can now like take yourself off camera and mute. Yeah. So
Auntie
if you can
Omoye,
go
I'm
out
going to
and come
bid
back
good
again.
night. I'm going to
Eh.
bid. I'm going to bid
Oh,
good
okay. You
night. I
wanted to
beg.
make a point. Make your point with me too before you go now.
No, no, no. I just wanted to say that,
Mm,
there are women in every caucus. It's just that the same
How many
thing,
of them?
the same thing applies. It's the old people recycling themselves and not giving the young people an audience.
exactly.
And the young people, you know what, the Gen Z and the older generation, a little bit older generation, they are not really in that space, because everybody now is live and let live. Whatever can give you peace in
Since
your own
aside
in
that,
your
even
own
where they are the
secular
women, numbers
space.
matters. Oh, now like the Democrat and Republican, numbers matter. If we have only 3 women and 100 men, and they say make they vote, you understand what I'm saying? So
That's
I'm
true.
just saying that
That's
if
a
the
good point.
numbers,
Aisha Buhari come talk. Waiting our brother tell him. He say your place is in the kitchen. How you want to take pass that one? As he
no,
dey
you know
talk
that na
so,
Fulani
since
man, na
since as
Fulani
he dey
man.
talk so, the vice president wey we get, get wife. How many times you don't hear her open and talk do anything? My sister, make we left matter. We know where the thing they pinch us. My brothers and sisters, Ejo, thank you very much for such an
BBMJ, thank you
enlightening
so much for your
discussion.
contribution.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I
Let me
really
go home now
appreciate
and
you.
look at my gari. I want to do popo gari. You know what I want to go fry red oil. Eh?
How
You
you
come
say they
put
do
the
the
gari.
cocoa gari? You buy
You go,
cassava.
cassava dey this madam. You go
Cassava this
go
one now,
Filipino abi Mexican market. Cassava dey there.
Mexican market. Yeah.
Yes,
And
so
their own
cassava
get
dey.
they do Gary well self. You
It's
know that kind of
better
plastic
one.
one. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes
Don't make me do
now.
Oyigbo markets for you. Eh?
Use them chopper with kuli kuli powder like this.
How you take no? You can't
Yeah.
fry that oil. The one I go do, I go fry the oil, can't put small crayfish inside, can't put the Gary, it can't sound well well. That one will scatter person.
Hey, may I tell you something, Bibi? Do you know you were the one that told me about pumpkin seeds? I now went and I bought pumpkin seeds. I thought I can make a goosey soup. Hey,
Can you
respect.
imagine?
I say
Oh.
BB has shown me the way. Honestly, I just
Uh,
made it. I
And
think
it
over
is
the
so
weekend.
much cheaper.
even
It's
It's
more
cassava.
a lot.
fresh.
Oh
It's
Even
my
more fresh.
god,
cassava.
It not gonna be
it
like
was
that
so
egusi.
good.
We don't travel Red Seas, 10,000 miles, come sit down for person chop, come they
I
smell,
know.
come get after taste when you come kind and take cook. But if you just buy the pumpkin seeds and you use it, it's fresh and you still get the beauty of what you're eating.
I'm telling you, it was so good. I introduced it to my uncle. I made it. My mom was like, wow.
Oh,
I'm telling you. So thank you very much. I'm glad I remembered to mention it. Thank you for
thank you,
putting me
sis.
onto
Enjoy.
that. I really
Yes,
appreciate
so
it.
yes, so
I go
thank you,
try
my
that
sis.
cassava as you talk.
Yeah, it
No,
did
it's good
market
though.
too. It
The
did
cassava
market
is
and it's
very
really
good. I'm
nice.
telling you, it get
Okay.
powder well.
Mm-hmm.
No be that water one wey they buy for Nigeria. Now only the corn they water.
No, the corn. Oh, the corn. Oh, if you buy Mexican corn, it resemble our corn. Oh. No, be the one when they sell
You
for
know too
stores. Oh.
strong like that.
No,
You
it's still
know,
strong. The real Mexican corn, no, be the one when
no,
they sell for store. You
no.
go the market. You
Nigeria
buy
one,
Okay.
those.
the kind one where you go chop country panadol on top. That type.
Honestly, he did there. He did there. I did buy him. I did buy
Now,
him for
if
large
you go,
quantities.
I think I believe you, Bibi. If you go the market, if
If
you
you go
go
the market, not go the store.
farmers
Who they go store,
markets,
go do that
yeah,
kind of business. You go the market. I they buy them for
yeah.
big container. If you buy like 2 dozen, can't take my time, clean and well, then package and put some in 5 freezer. When I want chop my thing, I bring and come out chop. The only thing I never see where I don't define since now, they find
What's
clean well
that?
Ube,
well.
man, you know will be the same now. Ube
What's
pure,
Uve?
ube now only Nigeria
Now
fresh,
that's small,
green.
those small pears that you would see when they fall. Now make me
Oh
when
no
when
no
they
no
won't
no!
me.
I never see him. I never
I
see
never
that
see
one
Oh,
that
again.
one yet. I never see that one. My people, good night, oh. Oh my
good
darling,
night.
wonderful discussion. Thank you so
Thank
very
you
much.
so much for your
And
contribution.
wonderful contributors. Auntie Marriott, I beg. We're not going to ECOWAS, so let's stay within the United States.
Thank you so much. Have
Nice,
a
Very
nice
wonderful
good.
talking
night.
to you. Bye.
Same here, sis. Have a
Bye.
good
Love
night.
you. Yeah.
Love you.
Ophelia, welcome back. Thank you very much for coming back. So we think say na two, say as we come dey drag na two after you comot, we say na you cause am o. Everybody dey blame each other. Welcome back, my brother.
Thank you. I just mistakenly logged out. I don't know what I did.
Okay, I'm
Not
glad you're
like
back.
another quick the vex. So
Ah, good, good. I'm glad because for here, all the women for here, they know how to push buttons. So prep yourself ready.
We're Africans.
I think Marion mentioned, so there was a question Marion had on the chat that I wanted to ask. I'm trying to look for it now. It say whether you be 50-50. It say, Ophelia, are you 50-50? Men in Netherlands and Belgium, una two like 50-50. Oh my God, Marion. That question is for you, Ophelia.
I don't demand it,
Daniel.
and I think it's more of a culture thing down here. You understand? So
Uh-huh.
even if you don't want it, even if you don't want it, that's how they live their lifestyle. Like it's called going Dutch.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It happened to me. Like my first date, we went somewhere. I met her in a train. So
Okay.
we talked, and she said, okay, that we have to meet somewhere. So that day I went. After we finished having the dinner, I paid. She said, no, 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 no. You don't have to pay for me. Well, I said, no, but I invited you in my culture. And she was feeling insulted, you know?
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. And we later had a relationship for a while. And even when we were living together, everything was 50-50. I didn't ask for it, but she automatically planned it that way, and she was comfortable doing 50-50. And sometimes I don't demand it, but it makes life much easier though, if I would say. And you're not feeling like you're owning the person. Like the person has a right to go. Like when somebody is not feeling locked out, okay, I'm staying in this relationship because of what you are doing for me. It's different from I'm staying in this relationship because I love your company. what
Right.
we are doing what we are doing mostly in Africa, where the relationship we have is because of what that person is doing, because of the advantages. It's not because you actually on your own
Like
want to be in
love
that
the person.
love the person.
Mm.
So this kind of lifestyle makes you be there because it's not because the person is bought me a car or something,
Mm-hmm. You don't
No, it's
feel
just
obligated to the
you don't
person.
feel obligated, and you don't feel locked up. Like you feel comfortable at any time to leave if the
Mm-hmm.
relationship is not what you want. So yeah. So okay.
Right. That's interesting. Man, so my people, be like say we'll come wrap up small small. Make I take last minute thoughts from everybody. Cynthia, I shared my link. Cynthia, I don't see you. Maybe Cynthia don't go sleep because now I know say now her bedtime be this. It don't even pass her bedtime self. So Netu, what are your final parting thoughts on
Busy
this
Chicago.
matter?
Ophelia,
Eh?
see, these African men, even the 50-50, no una pick the culture wey una wan pick. If una wan pick the Western one 50-50, una go dey help with the stuff for the house on top 50-50. No be say una go say go and work and bring money, sit down, put leg on top table, say food never ready, and you come back house before the wife. So if you wan pick the one wey you wan make your wife dey cook, only cook, then you make you take over the bill. Because that's the struggle a lot of African women have with the African men. They want them to work and then come back home and still do like most of the stuff at home and then pay half of the bill.
But it's not all men. I don't want you to do what you
No,
don't
no,
want
I'm
to
not
do.
generalizing.
No, no. But
I'm not.
what
I
you have
just
to
said
know
that's a
about
lot of.
what you have to know about men is that what you have to go out there and choose what you want. Like I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable telling you what to do. I want
Hmm.
you to. I want, if you are in a relationship, I want you to do what you're comfortable in. Because I feel
Right.
more comfortable when you are doing what you. The relationship lasts longer when everybody is doing what they like. Like you're just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like go and is somebody a slave that you say go and work for me and cross your leg. You are going to die early. How can you be commanding somebody a whole life? You are commanding a whole life. Who you be? And that's where some of our people are making that mistake. I can't tell you what to do. But as long as as long as I'm comfortable in everything you do, and as long as you're comfortable in everything I do, it's perfect. Nobody has right over what anybody, like I watch football when I want to.
Right.
You know, you go with your girls out. You want to go girls out. You want to go with your girls. I don't have to be bothering you with phone calls to know where you are. Okay, where are you? What's that man's voice I'm hearing on the background? You go die early when you have there are many things to worry about in a relationship or a beg.
Bro, that's you. But there are a lot of men that are like that, honestly speaking.
But I'm
A
sure
Right.
lot of
I'm sure there are numbers of men like me out there. So when you go out shopping, make sure you shop for the right one, not because not because of what your friends say or you don't allow your friends or your parents choose for you. Make sure it's
Mm,
it's what you're comfortable with.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well said. Very well said, Ophelia. God go bless you. Man, we got correct men for this platform. Oh. Kai. Thank you so much, Ophelia. I really appreciate that take.
Pleasure.
So Natu, we don't answer your question. Marriott, what you have
sometimes.
to say?
Sometimes.
Oh, sorry. I just I was reading Mirabelle's comment to see if she attacked me, but she didn't even attack me. I'm so shocked. Um well, what I have to say is that I think that our culture is beautiful. Our culture is can be protective, and I think that our culture can evolve, and we need to let go of the stranglehold a little bit and allow ourselves just become the best version of ourselves. We can't change what has happened in the past and all the interlopers, whatever, but we have to change with the times, but change well, change in the way that we like. And I
Right.
think for any couple, like if if I am married to anybody, there are parts of my culture that I pick. I literally pick and choose my culture.
Right.
So there are things about my culture that I love. When I meet men and they talk about, oh, move together at some points before marriage, I tell them, no, in my culture, you don't move in together. You go, if you know you want to be married, you go and speak to my parents, you ask them,
Mm-hmm.
and you bring your own family, and you go and speak to them first before you propose to me. And then when it's time to get married, you have to bring your parents and your own people to come and meet my people. That's how we do. We don't do cohabiting, whatever.
Right.
When they talk about children, I told them, no, in my culture, you don't have children before you get married. You get married, then you have children.
Yeah.
And I tell them, look, if I'm going to be married anybody, my parents, or at least my mother, but my parents, because it's just two of them, are going to be close to
Mm-hmm.
me because they have to be involved in me raising my children. I want them to speak the language to my kids.
Right.
My kids are going to speak the language that I speak,
Right.
because that's my culture. I'm going to cook jollof rice. I'm going to cook eba and okra. I'm going to eat dodokire and
That I if the
ikokore.
man
And
go chop all
look,
that one now.
you know me. I talked about my dating life here. I've dated people from all
No,
over
you're right.
all the world,
You're
and
right.
they still eat jollof rice. They called me, oh, I didn't order jollof rice on my birthday. Yep, because I'm my authentic self of my culture. Like there's no other way to be. But
That's
then the things
great.
that are not good in my culture, I don't take them on. Like I'm not putting one pressure on one man to be my sole provider, Lord and Savior. I don't do that because it doesn't
Right.
benefit me.
Yeah.
So take the good from your culture and incorporate it into your relationship as much as you can. Things that don't
Right.
benefit your relationship, things that don't elevate you as a family, you need to drop it and let it go. And so I don't think culture hinders totally, but I think that the couple has to decide what they want to do moving forward, how they want to incorporate that culture into their lives, and be authentic, but still be forward looking, progressive, all of those things. That's my summary of all of these.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful summary, Marriott. I really enjoyed that. Your summary was on point. I loved every bit of it.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm thinking, do you guys think we should do a part two of this? Because I think it's a big conversation. And I have a feeling a lot of people have more things to say on this topic. What do you guys say in the comment section? Otherwise, I'm not bringing it back again because I want you culture finish me for you.
I
Eh?
think you should come back because I don't think Natu had the chance to really express all that she wanted to say.
Yeah, I
Um,
could feel it from Nacho,
yeah,
especially.
and
Nacho,
Mirabel
if you
wasn't
see
there.
day here, respond. Let me know, Nacho. You want me we do this part two? Everybody else, I beg, we could not respond with yes
Mirabel,
or
so Mirabel,
Mirabel. You are Mirabel.
what
Look,
if he
you
wants
are
to be the sole
Mirabel.
provider and wants to
Mirabel
be the
say,
sole
Maria, what
homemaker?
if the man wants to be the sole provider and wants you to be the sole homemaker? Will you be fine with that? You know, say
I'll
Mirabel, they
I'll
come with.
really, 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 really have to think about it because I come from a long line of women who are very, very independent, and I fiercely defend my independence. So
Right.
I'm going to be convinced that this arrangement will erode some of my independence. And if you know me, like in real life, I don't play I don't play with that independence. So I will really, really think about it because that's another way to live life. But I believe that life is in seasons. Like if I'm at home and I have kids, I want to be at home with like the toddlers and the babies, right? Because they're not going to school.
Right.
I want to be with them. But when they're off
Mm-hmm.
at school, do I want to be at home full time? Maybe I could work part time. You see, I'm already negotiating my release from prison. Can you see now? So I don't know. I don't
when
know.
you when you get to that bridge, you'll cross it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe when I'm in that situation, I'll feel very different. I'll be like, oh my God, I love my baby so much. I don't ever want to leave my babies. I might be that parent. But right now, I
Right.
don't think I'm that person. But Mirabel, if you know somebody that is wealthy enough for me to be very, very comfortable at home, you can introduce me to them. I will swiftly make a decision.
Mirabel say train no go gree her. In real life, she has to be on the road. We know you, Marriott. You are the train girl.
No, Mirabel, seriously, if this person is making enough for me to be comfortable, as not that my heart is beating, like I'm thinking that maybe one day, if we miss one salary now, all our kaya will be on the road. If I'm gonna be comfortable, but I'll still be worried that he'll try to take away my independence because I won't have money to just do what I want. So I'll be really worried
Right.
about that. But who knows? I might change my mind.
Right. Anything can happen. You never know.
Yeah.
But for me, I know for a fact that can never change my mind. I have to have my own. I cannot, I don't care how much money. If you like be billionaire, now your pocket to be. I go drive your fancy cars. I go wear the nice clothes when you buy for me. We go live for the big house. But I will still have my own. I'm sorry. And the follow and do that one. That's me. That's just me. So Philly, let me come to you. What are your final thoughts? Thank you so much, Marriott. I love
Thank
you,
you.
girl. Thank you for co-hosting with me. I really appreciate that. See, we will
Not a
do part two.
problem. Yeah, we should do a
Some,
part two.
yeah, we should do a part two because it's a huge topic. We're going to find some. And if you guys have any suggestions with regards to topic within the culture and tradition that you want us to talk about specifically, you can send me emails. And so when I'm doing my title, I can just and do a little bit of research. So, Ophelia, now you can't get floor now. Make you close
Okay.
us out. Mm.
Okay. I just hope we should probably go back and lay hands on any old books that can tell us about ourselves, because if you want to make the future better, first of all have to understand yourself. I'm not saying that most of the things we represent as African culture today is not actually our culture, is what we are influenced with from the outside world. And like somebody was saying that there was a particular time the history told us that our parents were killing twins. If you go back in history, you find out that things like that never happened. It's just like Mongo Park coming to tell us that he left his own where he's living and came to Africa to discover River Niger, where our ancestors were already fishing and taking care of their family, and they were living fine, you know. And they now came to tell us that they and we now took it up as history that Mungo Park came all the way to discover River Niger. The better you understand yourself, before you can, before you can take care of somebody else, first you have to first of all understand yourself real good.
Right.
Understand? We are very good people. We are beautiful people. We are fun to be with. You don't even know how fun you are until you mix up with other cultures and they tell you how they admire what you have that you are not even aware of. So we are
Right.
very beautiful people. We can do better than how we are living right now. Uh, yeah, we have much more love to give. So we should try and understand ourselves so we can be the best of ourselves. Have a good night, and anytime, just that I think it's about 3 a.m. now or 4 a.m. down here. So
Oh
uh,
wow.
this, I think this is about the third time I try to be in your program, but it's always I'm
Late.
always
Too late for you.
it's always too late for me, but I just forced myself to stay awake.
Oh, oh my God, Ophelia, I feel honored. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. There's a comment, oh, a good one too. Mirabel says, Ophelia, please come back. Oh, this is my
I'll
first time
definitely.
seeing you here. More men like you are needed on here, and their inputs definitely appreciated. So you're hearing
Wow,
it, oh. But I
wow.
really, really appreciate you coming on, Ophelia. So we know where we dey come from. You
Yeah.
know the where we dey come. So thank you so much for joining, even so late. So what thing I would do, I will schedule. So I usually have village meetings on Saturdays. So I'll schedule a
Okay.
village meeting usually in the morning, which would be maybe better for you, like that kind
Okay.
9 a.m. or 10 a.m. my time. So
Okay.
if you're available at that time, feel free to join. They're
Mm.
suggesting one person is suggesting that we do the part two of this on Friday. We might end up doing it on Saturday so that everybody else can get to join in and partake on this on in the same conversation. But I really appreciate you. Thank you very much for being the only man on the panel and receiving all the heat from
it's
Netu.
it's been fun because I grew up among girls, so it's
Okay.
a beautiful thing for me. And you also know my story. The last time we were on a do.
Yeah, I need to hear that story, Ophelia. We must talk that story, which
we'll talk
ground.
about
I
we'll,
can't wait.
we'll, we'll talk
We
about
have
this
to
some other
make
time.
time. Yeah, I really want to
Okay.
hear that because they're not let you. We not give you chance to talk as much as, but we'll definitely, hopefully, very soon. I want to hear
All
all
right.
the gist, blow by
Okay
blow.
then.
All
Okay.
right, thank you so much,
All right
Ophelia.
then.
God
Take
bless
care.
you. Yeah.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye. So my people, eh? At today we don't reach oh. I know, in fact, oh, thanks for joining us. So, hello, soon. I'm telling you, thanks for joining. Yeah, they tell you thanks for joining. Thank you, Marriott, my darling. Thank you for co-hosting. I especially want to appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Netu. I don't know where Netu go. Netu don't go for another person trouble. I'm very sure about that. Netu, oh, Netu. BBMJ, thank you so much for your great input. I really appreciate every insight today. This topic is a huge one. I know we're just scratching the surface of it. We're going to go maybe deeper next time and really talk about this and address some of these things. Maybe we can start changing some mindsets. You never know, you know. Now talk, you understand? Now clap that the entire dance. Eh? Eh? Mirabel say make I no corner her line. Wetin be your line, Mirabel? You don come here, you come, first of all, you come late, then you come dey tell me say make I no call. Which line be your line, Mirabel? Please make it plain. Let me know. What's your line? My people, my Mirabel. Okay, oh, I don't know what else. What should I say now? Eh? Ojemwa, thank you so much. Ojemwa, go don go sleep. And Ojemwa, please get better or feel better. Take something for that your cough. Abeg, drink ginger. Make sure say you drink ginger, lemon, and honey. Hot. make that thing for clear. Or if you get palm oil for house, put palm oil for inside the heat am up a little, put sugar, drink am. E go help clear that phlegm for your throat too. Biko, Mona, good night too. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys. I'll try to schedule another live. What's today? Today is what? Monday or Tuesday? What will be today? Monday. Okay, sorry. Today is Monday. I'll try to schedule another live on Wednesday. So we'll see about that. And then village meeting on Saturday, or maybe we'll have a part two and just turn it to village meeting. She stayed though, Mirabel. Let me thank Miriam. She stayed. Hey, abeg, you people abeg, you Mirabel and Miriam. Una just say no be twins una suppose be, because I no understand. Na so fight una dey fight each other in love, fighting in love. I never see two people when dey fight in love before. Now body I take learn am. It was fun, though. It was fun hanging out with you too, Ophelia. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you guys. Eh? Mirabel is bullying you, or you people are bullying each other. Please don't involve me. Two of you will not use me to settle. Mbanu. Eh? So anyway, guys, I love you. And if you're catching this on replay, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how your culture has influenced you one way or the other, whether you're married or single. I'd like to read about it. And if there's anything that you guys want me to address on our next live ahead of time, send me a message, or we can just talk about it when I come on live. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. For my new subscribers, welcome on board. I hope this has been fun for you. Easy, thank you for joining us. Thank you all so much. If I didn't mention your name, I beg. Nobody say I know if you remember everybody's name. Thank you, Gravitas. Thank you, OJ Moi. Thank you, everyone, every single one. I love you all, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.